Ew. Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Get my settings right. I know I've been gone for a few days, at the very least. I may have had a birthday. It may have run on a little too long. But we're back. Putin and Trump. They're finally meeting up in the great state of Alaska. Hope y'all are well. This should be an interesting one. I think this will be an interesting one. I was kind of excited about this. So I knew I had to be back to stream, at least for this. I don't even know if the meeting has started. Let me see. Yeah, they ain't got much going on over there. You know, I can't let the subject die. So in the poll today, did we forget about Epstein? Yes or no? Because this meeting will be interesting. Maybe. Might be a nothing burger. But Epstein, we can't let that die. I feel so bad. I've been unplugged like all weekend. But all week, I guess, damn. I guess it's been all week. Ugh. I need to see what time that's starting. Let me fix my TV. Ugh. All right, we got 2 votes, guys. Looks like we haven't forgotten about Epstein, according to the 2 votes. Generally, my Epstein polls go 90-10. So 90% of people in general are interested in seeing the files and seeing the perpetrators of alleged crimes be brought to justice. About 90-10. My last one was about maybe 85-15. So I'm curious to see if it just slowly fades and eventually people just stop caring, like everything else. Maybe in like 50 years, they'll be like, you know what, guys? We're going to release the files. It's going to be like the JFK files, basically. Just a can that gets kicked down the road. I don't think there's much going on in this, so we're going to let the man walk. What do you guys think? You guys think he ends the war today? I think Putin was saying, oh shit, this music is so loud. I think Putin was saying that, I mean, he's looking forward to the meeting and stuff and the peace talks and all that. So from a little headline I saw. Of course, that's probably just politics, just niceties, sweet nothings. Here we go, though. You guys think he would have went anywhere else in the United States? Or do you think Alaska was like his hard boundary for Putin? Do you think he was like, I'm not going deep into America, but I'll meet you in Alaska. I'll meet you in little Canada. Nah. I'm just saying, traveling around as a world leader, especially when, you know, you're contentious, you're at war with people, flying around and going to other countries, that's got to be so scary. Like when Trump, what was it, North Korea? He went to North Korea, I believe. Like, that's freaky. It's like they shouldn't be stupid enough to do anything, but if they did, it's like, damn, you're messed up. You're kind of screwed. But like I said, there's not much to this. They're gonna walk up and hit their poses. They're gonna emote. Hey, what's going on, Crystal Visions or Crystal Draws? Ah, he's gonna T-pose. What's going on, Rugman? The Rugman. Pull it. The Rugman, pull it. Bro, this is like a professional rug puller. Let me get on your next coin. Let me get on your next crypto coin. But let me be on the, you know, in the end before you pull it, you know? So like I said, that's about it. That and there are a million, you know, security around them. We're not having any slip-ups today, okay? But I don't think there's really much more to be said here. Just like randomly running. Yeah, because I imagine you probably don't even want to sit in one spot, being two world leaders like that for too long. It's like you handshake, you get some pictures. We need to move. You need to stay moving. I heard the motorcade, when the president's moving, the motorcade doesn't stop. So they have like police way up ahead, and like because they came through this city, and like yeah, everybody has to get off the street. They'll like run you off the street. The motorcade does not stop until it gets to its destination. Is like the idea. I'm just saying the logistical side of it is pretty cool. Desi. Gotta be some crazy measures they take for Putin. Yeah, right? I heard that plane fly over earlier and I was like, was that Russian or was that American? All right, so let me see. Are they still setting up over here? I'm pretty sure this is where pursuing peace, right? I'm not crazy. After months of unsuccessful diplomatic efforts to end the Ukraine war, President Donald Trump faces a pivotal moment as he meets face to face with Vladimir Putin. So yeah, that's coming up. Unfortunately, if anybody has the time for that, I'm a little unprepared today. Oh, I thought I was late. Turns out I'm early. That never happens. You said fingers on the switch. Yeah, right? Putin be Putin on the wrist. Trump and Putin be like, let's push our red buttons together. Hey, if you're gonna end the world, you might as well do it with somebody, right? All right. As great as this music, I don't even know how I'm feeling about it, honestly, is. Let us hear a little bit of the last press briefing while we're hanging out here and while I figure out what's actually going on when this thing starts.
Good to see all of you here again today.
Honestly, hey, let's all be toast. Yeah, let's all be toast. As long as there's a little bit butter, just a little bit of butter. Even if it's, I can't believe it's not butter, that would suffice. Honestly, I hope they do come to some sort of, yeah, no, honestly, I mean, yeah. I remember I had friends that thought the war was gonna, oh, I don't like that chair back there. All right, hold on, guys. I'm sorry. This is messing up my whole vibe. Damn it. Yes. Ha ha ha. Much better. Okay. That's what I was saying. Yeah, friends that I remember when the first ceasefire happened. I think they did a ceasefire to evacuate Kiev. And I was talking to my friend, and he's like, "Oh, the war is going to be over. See, they did a ceasefire. They're negotiating." And this was like, mind you, like 2 weeks into the war. And I'm like, do you think that they moved that much equipment, spent that much resources, and are going to take a huge political hit on the global stage to play invade for 2 weeks? Now, what I didn't anticipate was it lasting this long. Like, I thought it was going to be like a year or two. They grab some ground, people get tired, they hold on to the ground, they take it from Ukraine, and basically just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Like Crimea, Ukraine, you know, like the Donbass region, then a little bit more, then a little bit more, then a little bit more. That's kind of what I figured they would do. I did not anticipate it would go on this long. Let's see, what did you guys think? You said no margarine. The war is over, thanks, Trump. Did I miss the news already? Are we jumping ahead? This is a war about mineral enriched land that Putin wants. Yeah, I was looking into that because I was trying to figure out, why does Putin want this? Some people say there's historical reasons, egotistical reasons. But I started looking into how much Russia was spending each day on the war. And then I tried to calculate how much natural resources were in Ukraine. And if you just do like a really quick comparison, how much they were spending on the war, they could literally fund the war for like 5 to 10 years and still be like $1 trillion up in resources if they were to win. If they were to win and be able to take over like the whole country, because like Ukraine seems really rich in natural resources. I think. Why do I put my chat like 20 feet away from me? I don't know. It sucks that Biden got us involved with the Russian-Ukraine war. Remember Trump's first term and the war wasn't happening? I mean, I don't know how much Biden got us involved. I mean, some people would blame Harris, because I thought Harris was the one that was negotiating with Russia or had some sort of meeting with Russia when the troops were stationed on the border. So, I mean, you could blame... I don't even know if Biden could be the only one to blame in this. I mean, NATO. I mean, you can kind of blame NATO. I mean, where it's like, first off, it's not just the United States. It's not just our president. Like, there's other countries that could do shit too, right? It's not just us. Why is everything like, it's Biden's fault? Well, it's not really Biden. There's a lot of other countries. There's a lot of other leaders. Like if it's anybody's fault, it's Putin's fault. Let's okay, right? I mean, he invaded, right? Now you could say, well, Ukraine was flirting with NATO. Putin said, bro, we're not having that. We're not having NATO over here. So let me just preemptively, what did he call it? He said he was liberating his people because in the eastern part of Ukraine, anybody from Ukraine, anybody from Russia in chat, sometimes some of y'all will be in here, correct me if I'm wrong, Donbass region, from what I understand, like the eastern part of Ukraine, there's a lot of Russian speakers. And what Putin was saying is that basically the Russian speakers were being mistreated by the Ukrainians, and he's basically liberating them. That was his sort of initial story for invading, right? Oh my gosh. Sorry, let me see if this is actually going anywhere. Nothing, man. Why don't you turn the cameras on like 3 hours ahead of time? I get it. It does take a lot to get set up. I mean, it takes me forever to get set up, and I'm just sitting here in a space station. You know what I mean? Like, oh.
Friday morning.
So he said America depends too much, or Europe depends too much on American health. NATO certainly was bloodthirsty, to be honest. Anyone feel like they need to poop? I try to get that out of my system before stream. I hate it because it's like right before I go to hit the button. It's like, you know what? I don't know if you guys ever played sports, but like right before the basketball game, right before you're about to go on, you got to take a shit. Or you're about to go swimming, you got to take a shit. Or like whatever. I swear, when I'm about to stream, I'm like, bro, I got to get everything out the way. Sorry, guys. I just had to. I'm responding to the comments here. Bro said, bro, Russian propaganda. Hey, I'm just giving like the two sides of this story, right? Personally, I'm American, so I'm going to kind of go with my country on this one, right? If my country tells me some stuff, I'm gonna side-eye them, but I'm obviously going to trust, America over like Russia intelligence, right? Kind of makes sense. I live here. These are my peoples, and I don't want to get disappeared, okay? Not saying that happens here. That obviously doesn't happen here, but yeah.
President Trump will travel across the country to Anchorage, Alaska.
Wait, what's Maha? What's Maha? Does that make America hot again? That's the only thing that comes to my mind. Oh, healthy again. It's healthy again, right? JFK Jr.
bilateral meeting with Russian President Vladimir
Putin wants to be around forever. How old is Putin?
The brutal war between Russia and Ukraine broke out under Joe Biden's incompetent leadership. But President Trump is determined to try and end this war and stop the killing. As the president has said over and over again, his strong preference will always be for peace and partnership whenever those outcomes can possibly be achieved. There is no leader in the world right now who has been more committed to preventing wars or ending them than President Donald Trump. Just look at what took place here at the White House last Friday, when President Trump hosted the Azerbaijani president and Armenian prime minister and got the two leaders to sign a historic joint declaration for peace, ending a decades-long conflict that disrupted the region and claimed countless lives. In other news, we continue to see positive economic reports across the board. Today's CPI report revealed that inflation beat market expectations once again, and inflation remains stable. Overall, inflation has run at a 1.9 average annual pace in President Trump's first 6 months in office. Prices for everyday goods continue to decline. Energy prices fell in July, including gasoline, which is down nearly 10% over last year, and propane, which is down 2.5%.
Propane and propane accessories? Or just propane? That's the real question.
Over last year as well. Egg prices fell once again in July and
Damn
are
it,
down
Bubby.
20% since President Trump took office. Shelter inflation, the largest contributor to overall inflation, is at its lowest level since October of 2021. Wage growth for American workers is beating inflation once again. As inflation declines, this administration continues to be wholeheartedly committed to putting more money back into the American people's pockets. American real wages are up 1.3% over last year and have increased each month since President Trump took office. And small business optimism, according to this morning's report, has also reached a 5-month high. Ignore the panicans and trust in President Trump. That is our motto here at the White House. The America First economic agenda is working. On another matter, yesterday, President Trump took bold action to finally restore law and order right here in our nation's capital. The president declared a crime emergency in the District of Columbia, federalized the D.C. Police Department, and mobilized the D.C. National Guard to end violent crime in our nation's capital. As part of the president's massive law enforcement surge, last night, approximately
Here's one of my rules for the chat, guys. Freedom of speech in chat. Don't break TOS, 1. Okay? 2, don't be a creep. Pretty simple. 3, don't spam, guys. Don't spam. You guys can put your flag in chat. Everybody put your flags in chat. Get it out of your system. But we can't keep putting your flags in chat. It's just annoying. It's just annoying. So let's get it out of the way. Everybody with your flag. Which I do like to know where everybody's coming from. There's people from all over the world, and I find it really interesting. But when it's just like spam, 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 I don't want to have to block people. I don't like having to do it, you know, but we might.
850 officers and agents were surged across the city. They made a total of 23 arrests, including multiple other contacts. Last night, these arrests consisted of homicide, firearms offenses, possession with intent to distribute narcotics, fare evasion, lewd acts, stalking, possession of a high-capacity magazine, fleeing to elude in a vehicle, no permits, driving under the influence, reckless driving, and a bench warrant. A total of 6 illegal handguns were seized off of District of Columbia streets as part of last night's effort. This is only the beginning. Over the course of the next month,
we might dive into that after all the Russia stuff if we make it through it. What the hell is going on in DC? All right, I'm a little disconnected. It seems like, is it the National Guard he's having employed, or what the hell?
Trump administration will relentlessly pursue and arrest every violent criminal in the district who breaks the law, undermines public safety, and endangers law-abiding Americans. President Trump will not be deterred by soft-on-crime Democrats and media activists who refuse to acknowledge this rampant violence on our streets. He is going to make our nation's capital the most beautiful...
I'm sorry, I don't mean to pause. This says if Trump negotiates an end to Putin's war, hold up, yeah, on Ukraine without Ukraine having to cede territory, I'll nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize. Okay, what do we mean by cede territory? Look, if Russia is like in control of a territory and they go to negotiate, I don't know how much leverage that we have or Ukraine has to be like, you have to give us that back. The whole point of fighting and people dying and spending all that money is to take your shit. So if you can't take it back, why would they give it back to you? That makes no sense to me. Maybe they'll give them a little bit, like some crumbs, but if you expect to get all your territory back, that's just ludicrous in my opinion.
And safe city on earth, just as he promised on the campaign trail. Staying on the topic of public safety, the Trump administration continues to shatter records on border security. According to brand new numbers released this morning from Customs and Border Patrol, illegal crossings have fallen to all-time lows once again. Here were the records set in July. Again, these numbers were released this morning. The lowest monthly nationwide encounters ever, down nearly 90% from the monthly average under the Biden administration. The lowest monthly Border Patrol apprehensions nationwide ever, smashing the previous record set.
Oh, hey guys, there's a throwback. I have not seen Hillary Clinton. Is that Hillary Clinton? Am I crazy? Wow, dude, time is wild. Hold up, let me get out the way.
Trump were the architect of that, I'd nominate him for a Nobel.
What in the hell is this? What is this triangle? Oh, hold up, guys. I keep freaking muting myself because for some reason I have my microphone linked to the key number 1. I don't know why. I need to unhotkey this. Anyway, I had to fix that production failure back there. But yeah, Hillary Clinton. Oh my God, man, time is moving forward, guys. Time is moving forward. It might just be me, but I think time is moving faster. It's something I've noticed.
The prior month in June. The lowest monthly southwest border apprehensions ever. The lowest daily apprehension average ever. The lowest single day apprehensions ever. And
wait, do I have any mods? Oh my God, thank you, Pointy, welcome. I'm like, do I have any mods in chat right now? Welcome, welcome, Pointy.
There were 0 illegal aliens released into the country. Let me repeat that remarkable statistic. For the 3rd month in a row, not a single illegal alien was released by the Trump administration into the United States of America. This is historic. Under President Trump, this border is the most secure it has ever been. When you fortify the border, when you restore deterrence, and when you empower Border Patrol agents and our brave men and women in uniform to actually do their jobs to enforce our laws, like this president has.
Oh, it was her. I did not recognize her in that picture. I did not recognize her in this picture. Wow, that is crazy. So she said she would nominate Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize if he negotiates an end to the war without Ukraine having to cede territory. At first I was like, okay, you know what, look at her. She's at least able to give praise. But she had to put that caveat in there, which it's like, how is he going to pull that off? How? And also, there's got to be other people negotiating too, right? Am I crazy?
This is the incredible result. And in the interior of our country, criminal illegal aliens continue to be arrested and removed. Here are some of the criminals arrested by ICE in just the last few days. ICE Buffalo arrested an illegal alien from Jamaica convicted of attempted murder. ICE Buffalo also arrested an illegal alien from Ecuador convicted of leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death. ICE Houston arrested an illegal alien from Mexico convicted of manslaughter. ICE Newark arrested an illegal alien from Mexico.
I'm sorry, I know this is probably rage bait. But can someone explain why Putin and Trump met all the way in Alaska when Washington, D.C. is literally right on the way? Please tell me that's rage bait, right? Right? I know that we're used to seeing maps on like a piece of paper in a 2-dimensional sort of space. But you know, the map actually folds into this thing called a globe. It's like a circle, but it's three-dimensional.
Convicted of the sexual assault of a minor. Ice Dallas.
Sorry, I didn't move it over. Just so you guys know what I'm talking about, because I don't know what this has to be rage bait. It has to be rage bait.
An illegal alien from Mexico convicted of assault causing bodily injury. And already the Trump administration has arrested more than 300,000 illegal aliens in 2025. Again, more than 300,000 illegal alien criminals have been arrested in the interior of our country in the first 6 months of this administration.
Yo, people are wild. Somebody said, Honky said, I just read your name. Yo, that's wild. You said Putin's about to get all his land back.
Many false reports in the media, nearly 70% of these arrests have been criminal aliens with criminal
Sarah Palin
or prior convictions. This is success all around. This is removing the most dangerous public safety threats from America's communities and returning these individuals to their home countries. So there's been success.
That's why I said it has to be rage bait, guys. Because yes, the globe does go the other way. It turns out you're only allowed to travel in one direction.
All around. I'm sure you have a lot of questions today. I'm happy to get to them. So let's get started. And as always, we'll start with our new media seat, who
Real
is
quick.
our podcast host today, Benny Johnson. Benny, why
Benny Johnson, that sounds familiar. What do we got over here?
don't you kick us off? And thanks for being here.
Thank you, Caroline. As a DC resident of 15 years, I lived on Capitol Hill. I witnessed so many muggings and so much theft. I lost track. I was carjacked. I had murders on my Ring camera and mass shootings.
What the?
I witnessed a woman on my block get held up at gunpoint for $20, and my house was set ablaze in an arson.
No way.
With a child inside. And so
Okay.
any reporter that says and lies that
Like, look, after like 2 or 3 murders, the lady being held up. Look, at a certain point in time, you gotta cut your losses. You gotta cut your losses and say, guys, this just isn't the neighborhood for me.
DC is a safe place to live and work. Let me just say this. Thank you. Thank you for making the city safe, because no parent should have to go through what my family went through, having the fire department rip open their door to save their infant child. And so thank you for your work on securing this city. My question to you is this. Nancy Pelosi has attacked the president for deploying the National Guard to the city, saying that it is to cover for his incompetence. Hillary Clinton has also attacked the president for securing the city of Washington, D.C. I'd like to get your response to Nancy Pelosi and Hillary Clinton.
Sure. Well, first of all, Benny, I'm so sorry that happened to you and your family. There have been, unfortunately, far too many victims of crime in this city, and I know the majority of residents.
Y'all are all saying DC is that crazy. It's just I don't hear it. Like you say they don't talk about it. I don't hear about it. I only know like a couple people from DC, and I guess I haven't really talked to them. But I just assume it's okay there. I've never really considered. I just thought it's the capital, so like it's I don't know. I just never really considered it was it could be like terrible there. I mean, a lot of people are saying it's bad. In chat.
The District of Columbia agree with you. In fact, a new poll from the Washington Post I was reading this morning. This was released in May of 2024. So it's.
I just haven't spent any time there, so I've only passed through.
Agreed with what the president was saying yesterday, but now once the president says it, many of you are.
I've gone down the rabbit hole of California. I've seen some of the stuff in California. Haven't been there myself, but I've seen like videos and stuff, and I'm like, well, that does look kind of terrible. I mean, the weather does look nice, and it does look like there's a lot of good stuff there. But some of like the homeless encampments and stuff, which in my city we have like homelessness and stuff. It does seem a little bit extra. Like there's a lot of homelessness in California. But again, we're gonna probably dive into the DC subject, maybe right after the Russia stuff. We'll see.
Disagreeing with him, but this poll released by the Washington Post found that 65% of district residents think crime
Really?
is
Get up.
extremely serious or a very serious problem, and this was up from 56% last year. So the concern that you share with so many other residents in the District of Columbia.
Duncan says, recent poll, 91% of DC residents say the city has a crime problem. All right, I'm gonna look that up while we're listening.
And that's why this president is taking action to address it. To get to the heart of your question, I think it's despicable that Democrats cannot agree that we need more law and order in a city that has been ravaged by violence, crime, murders, property theft. This should be a winning issue for all Americans. I don't understand. It's just anything President Trump does, the Democrats want to disagree with. I think the president would love to work with Democrats on this issue to bring law and order to America's cities, but unfortunately they have failed, and that's why he's taken this historic action to federalize the National Guard. And as you're seeing from last night's numbers, we already have seen success. We are removing violent offenders, we are arresting criminals, and we are removing drugs and firearms off of the streets of the city to make it safer for all of its residents.
Just a very quick follow-up to that. Given the heroic actions of a member of this administration just a few blocks from this building, will the president consider giving the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Big Balls?
I haven't spoken to him.
Let's pause on Big Balls for a second. Now, this is put out by the White House. This is my source right now. So, I mean, take that as you will, guys. In 2024, Washington, D.C. saw a homicide rate of 27.3 per 100,000 residents. There were 29,348 crimes. 3,400 of those were violent offenses, 1,000 were assaults with a dangerous weapon, and 2,100 were robberies, 5,000 were motor vehicle thefts. These numbers mean nothing to me because I need something to compare them to. So, you know, like the averages. Carjackings increased 547% between 2018 and 2023. That's crazy. But hey, if you guys have sources, you guys could drop sources. Join the Discord too. If you guys want to like link me stuff, join the Discord.
About that, but perhaps it's something he would consider. I'll ask him and get back to you, Benny. Thanks for being here. Gabe.
Thank you, Caroline. Regarding the Putin and President Trump summit on Friday, why not invite Ukrainian President Zelensky to that summit? I know the president said yesterday that he planned to speak with him right after the summit and even before, but why not invite
The crime rates during his first presidency?
not invite? Was it the president or was it President Putin?
Well, this meeting
All right, let me see.
because the president of Russia asked the president of the United States to meet through his special envoy, Steve Witkoff, who, as you all know, traveled to Russia to have a conversation with Putin at his request. And so the president is agreeing to this meeting at the request.
Now, hold on here, guys. I got something else for you. So, where is it? Okay. Boom, boom. So this says, violent crime. Now, this is CNN. Take it as you will. Violent crime in D.C. has plummeted over the last decades. Despite a spike in 2023, which, let me see if I can pull it over for you guys. So there's the spike in 2023. But overall, according to their... Damn, I'm sorry, guys. I need to figure out how to size these things better. There you go. That should work. Okay. Now, ignore me walking around the screen. Anyway. That there was a spike in 2023, but overall, since basically 2010, according to, you know, source, Metropolitan Police Department, U.S. Census Bureau, via Fred. Okay, so that's where this is coming from. Apparently, there's not a problem. Apparently, the problem was just right here. It was already going down, but for some reason in 2023, it went up. Now, it says Washington has been a relatively high crime place for decades, with a homicide rate that has persistently been among the country's worst for big cities. Though the district has gotten markedly safer since the crack cocaine crisis of the 80s and early 90s, and Washington suffered a sharp increase in violence in 2023, who wrote this? Which included its highest number of homicides since the late 90s and a near doubling of reported carjackings compared to the previous year. So what's going on in 2023 that's different than 2022? What is making this increase? Oh, anyway. My God, I get too lost in the sauce.
President Putin. And the goal of this meeting for the president is to walk away with a better understanding of how we can end this war.
Somebody said CIA giving out drugs. Who's that? Commander. What's going on?
That he hopes in the future there can be a trilateral meeting with these three leaders to finally...
Man, y'all are making me want to change the poll from Epstein to is DC safe? I might change the poll to that. How much do we have in this poll? 360. So did we forget about the Epstein files? 26% said yes, 74% said no. Let us continue.
But this administration has really used every lever, has taken every measure to achieve peace through a diplomatic solution. And I think
Washington Post for that 91%. I'm gonna check it out. I was looking for it, but I was like, geez. Oh man, you Google this and it's like every news station is on this, like, you know, regurgitating the same bullshit. So let me find that one.
United States getting in the room with the president of Russia, sitting face to face rather than speaking
Washington Post.
over the telephone, will give this president the best indication of how to end this war and where this is headed.
And another question on something that happened yesterday, but I wanted to get the White House response. A judge ruled that the grand jury transcripts in Ghislaine Maxwell's case should not be released. What's the White House response to that?
Guys, if the information's behind a paywall, we're not getting it. All right, I don't know why you're gonna put, you know, when you put the news behind a paywall, when you're telling me I have to pay to hear the news, I don't know, man. I feel something about that just feels off. That just feels off to me. You know, I get things cost money, but the news,
And do you plan to appeal? And what do you tell President Trump supporters who want that information released?
We think that decision is unfortunate. Of course, we moved to unseal that information because the president has said he wants to see credible evidence released. As for the appeal process, I would defer you to the Department of Justice for that.
Rachel, thank you so much, Caroline. We're learning that President Trump spoke with Ukrainian President Zelensky.
well, I know they can't sell paper anymore, but they need to change their business model, man. I mean, you see how many ads they put on these news sites. It is like every piece of real estate on your screen is an advertisement, okay? If you aren't making enough money from that, change your business model.
Curious if you can share any more details about their call.
Downsize.
And did Zelensky give President Trump any red lines, any non-starters ahead of this summit on Friday?
Look, I don't want to reveal the private conversations between the president and President Zelensky, but what I can tell you is that the president has deep respect for all parties that are involved in this conflict and are trying to bring this conflict to an end. After Special Envoy Witkoff returned from his meeting with President Putin in Russia, his first phone call was to President Trump. And President Trump's first phone call was to President Zelensky and to our friends in Europe to keep everybody in the loop about where the United States can see
What's on PBS?
moving the ball forward to end this conflict. And so we continue to be very much engaged with President Zelensky and the Ukrainians, but also our allies in Europe as well.
And then just
Saying watch PBS, that's like me being like, we'll watch the History Channel. Or what are we watching on it? Are we watching something about the Titanic? Are we watching something about ancient aliens? Or are you just saying in general that's a good source?
more for you. How does the president measure success coming out of this meeting? The president at times has suggested that Putin might be tapping him along. Is he prepared to walk out of this meeting if he senses that Putin is not serious about ending this war?
I think I just answered that question for you and what the goal and the expectation of the meeting is. And I won't jump ahead of any hypotheticals, and I'll leave it to the president to speak to all of you after the meeting, which I'm very confident.
Y'all kill me.
Steve.
Are you optimistic that a deal will emerge from this meeting, or is he simply going to listen?
I think this is a listening exercise for the president. Look, only one party that's involved in this war is going to be present. And so this...
Pointy, I understand that you're proud of your vote for Trump and not everybody in the United States voted for Trump. I know they're not as, perfect as you. I'm just playing. Something tells me, as I remember it, you don't like Trump, right? Something tells me you're kind of like, on Trump.
This is for the president to go and to get, again, a more firm and better understanding of how we can hopefully bring this war to an end.
I have to mess with you. Dirty's not here, so I got to do it.
There were some other sites being discussed. This is like it was a midpoint between the two meetings.
There were many sites discussed, but of course Alaska is a state within the United States of America, so the president is very honored and looks forward to hosting President Putin on American soil.
Last thing, is there a joint news conference plan, or will the president have a solo one? What sort of scheduling stuff?
Yeah, the mechanics and the scheduling, Steve, are still being ironed out. For Friday, we're working with our Russian counterparts to put those plans into action, and of course we'll keep you all apprised on the logistical details of Friday as soon as we get them. Charlie?
A lot of people will give the press secretary, Caroline Levitt? I think it's Levitt. I don't know. Everybody gives her shit. They say she's a liar and stuff. I'm not going to sit here and stand for anybody, but the press secretary, their job is to go out and just spin whatever bullshit they can to make the administration look good. I don't care if it's Biden. I don't care if it's Obama. I don't care if it's Trump. I don't care who it is. That is just their job. So I assume whatever they're saying is just the bullshit that they want us, to hear. It's just the politics, right? I mean, are they lying? No, probably, possibly, yeah. Maybe 50% of the time.
At the podium yesterday twice that he was planning to go to Russia. Was that a verbal slip up, or does he actually plan to go to Russia?
Perhaps there are plans in the future to travel to Russia. And on Friday, the president will be meeting with the Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska, as you know. Phil.
Last week, the president said the CEO of Intel was highly conflicted, seeming to cite his past investment with Chinese companies that were doing business with the Chinese military. Yes,
yeah, that is something that doesn't get talked about much, Buzzgolf. I don't know if I believe the numbers of there's 0 illegal immigration now, just because it just seems kind of unlikely or unrealistic. But I believe that they probably clamped down on it a bunch. But Buzzgolf said, I'll give Trump credit for stopping a ton of child trafficking across the border. The Biden administration didn't do shit to stop it or to follow up with child sponsors. And yeah, they kept talking about, it was it was like tens, if not hundreds of thousands of children or something going missing at the border. And I'm like, yo, that is scary. And then we have these situations like the Epsteins and the, whoever else. And we're not really talking about this issue. Like, regardless of how you feel about illegal immigration, blah, blah, blah. I think we can agree that human trafficking, like actual human trafficking, is bad. And we should stop that. I think that that's a good thing to try to stop.
Call this meeting with that CEO a success. So what can you tell us about what the Intel CEO said to President Trump that changed it?
The blueberry, I like blueberries. Well, I like blueberry muffins. The blueberry bulge. Talk about how ICE was caught trafficking children they took from the schools. Is there a story on that? Because if there's a story on that, off with their heads too. Off with their heads too. I don't give a fuck if you're right or left. If you're doing that shit, off with your head. It's that simple. It's that simple.
The president put out a statement that you cited, Phil. I will leave it at that. He shared his thoughts on that meeting and how it went.
I just don't care.
Comment on that, I'll leave it to him to make.
Will the Bureau of Labor Statistics continue to put out monthly jobs reports?
Well, look, what I'll tell you about the Bureau of Labor Statistics, I believe that is the plan and that's the hope, and that these monthly reports will be data that the American people can trust. As you know, the Bureau of Labor Statistics has made massive revisions after the last several reports that they have put out. And there has certainly been a decline in the quality and the reliability of data coming from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and there's been an increase in...
I'm looking it up.
And this president and the administration is finally tackling this problem that so many have talked about, and the president is actually doing something about it. We need to restore new leadership that we can trust. As you know, the president has appointed someone new to take over the BLS.
All right, well, mostly what's popping up is ICE arresting those types of people. I'm trying to find it specifically. Even the Google AI is like, you seem to be confused. They actually arrest those people. I'm like, no. I'm looking for a case in which they were caught doing the crime. So I'm looking for it. If you have a source, website, news, or whatever, drop that in the chat.
So we need to look at the means and the methods of how the United States is acquiring this very important data, and all of that is going to be done. And the goal, of course, is to provide honest and good data for the American people to make very important economic decisions on.
Thank you,
Michael.
Thank you, Caroline. 2 questions, if I may. The president has talked about land swaps between Russia and Ukraine. Vladimir Putin says he wants Russia to hold on to Russian-occupied territory in eastern Ukraine. Is the White House at all concerned about the messaging that potentially giving over or allowing for Russia to maintain its occupied territory?
Yo, Blake, it sounds like some Alex Jones stuff, and it's so funny because over time, Alex Jones stuff just sounds less and less crazy. Like his stuff from 10, 15 years ago, maybe it was 20 years ago. I was really young. His rants and stuff now, looking back at things with all the context of the last 20 years, less crazy. It feels less crazy, especially with the elites are doing this and that. They're pedophile. And it's like, it looks like a lot of elites are.
In eastern Ukraine, what that might say to other U.S. adversaries like China.
Look, right.
I'm just like, I can't imagine having $1 billion, right? I would be doing so much different stuff. I'd probably go to school or at least hire tutors to teach me stuff. I'd be flying around. I'd be having a good old time, starting whatever. I'd be living life. Why would you do that? Like, it's like you're in the Garden of Eden. Don't eat from that tree. Live in paradise. Don't eat from that tree. What do? You go and eat from the fucking tree. It's like, dude, what are you doing? You have the lottery ticket. You have the winning ticket. Why are you trafficking people? Why are you participating in this disgusting behavior?
The President of the United States.
Man, just, it's like people don't know what to do with their money.
War than his predecessor, Joe Biden, who allowed this war to take place. This war, don't forget, happened at the result of the weakness and the incompetence of the previous administration. And so the president inherited this conflict, and he is determined to end it. And it's a very complex and complicated situation.
Sorry, my settings are all weird. I'm trying to see your name. False doctrines exposed. Fire name. Appreciate the 5, bro. White House does more child traffic than world, including papal supremacy. I am not familiar with that. I'll look that up here. But hey, appreciate the 5. And I would like to think our government is not participating in this stuff. But then you have all that weird stuff about Epstein, the early 2000s, him kind of getting off on that case with just house arrest, him possibly being in the CIA or a Mossad plant, honeypot situation. I don't even know what to believe. The more we go into the story, the weirder things get, and the more it seems like something's going on. I'd like to believe our government isn't doing that kind of stuff, but our government's very big, so there's probably people in the government doing that stuff. That's just what it is.
As for the details of the plans that have been kind of tossed back and forth, I won't get into those, and I will let the President of the United States discuss those plans with the President of Russia, with our European allies, and the President of Ukraine, Zelensky.
All right. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Papal supremacy refers to the doctrine in the Roman Catholic Church that the Pope, as the Bishop of Rome, possesses supreme authority over the entire Catholic Church. This authority is understood as being full, supreme, and universal, meaning the Pope can freely exercise his power over all aspects of the Church.
Zelensky himself as well. Sure, go ahead.
So you're basically just saying that the White House is worse than the Catholic Church, which my whole life, you know, I've heard stories of. Well, we know what the stories, right? We know the stories.
Thank you, Caroline. As far as the policing and security operations in DC,
speak up.
Is there a timeline? Do we know what success looks like? Is it going to last longer than 30 days? And also, is there going to be an immigration enforcement aspect to this?
So, can you speak up a little bit?
Yeah, I missed her question too. What?
After yesterday's heater, so we've got to stock up. You're welcome. Go ahead.
Is there a timeline for the security operations here in DC? And also, is there going to be an immigration component to this? And what would that?
Look, if law enforcement officers encounter a criminal in this city and they are an illegal alien, of course the appropriate measures to detain and deport that individual will be taken, as they should. No city should be a sanctuary for anyone other than law-abiding American citizens, and that's been the that has been the position of this administration since day one. As for the timing, we will reevaluate and reassess and make further decisions after this 30-day period is up. But within the
false doctrine. You said once upon a time during the 1260 years, kings had to submit to papacy. I hope I'm saying that right. Papacy. Because they had a monopoly on salvation. Oh, no, you're straight. You guys go crazy in chat. Just, again, don't spam, don't break the terms of service of YouTube, and don't be a creeper. Don't be weird, like, to the other chatters and stuff. I don't have to deal with that often, but every now and then we get a creeper, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? But yeah, having a monopoly on that, could you imagine the power trip? Like, you think cops get power trippy? You think judges get power trippy? Imagine having God behind you and you're like the only one that can read the book because nobody else in like the village can read. And you could just tell them whatever.
These 30 days, our entire focus is making sure that this is the most efficient operation possible and that we are removing as many criminals from the streets and we are cleaning up DC as best as we can and working with the Metropolitan Police Department to do that. I know the mayor just spoke several minutes ago. I was watching her on television and she said that an increase of law enforcement officers on the streets will be helpful to deter crime in this city, and we look forward to working with these brave men and women of the Metropolitan Police Department to remove criminals off of our streets and to keep law.
Looks like we might be starting up here in a second. President Donald Trump greets Russia. No, we'll see. Still waiting on him.
citizens in the district safe. Josh.
Thank you. The president weighed in on Jay Powell again today. You might have seen. He said that he's
y'all are crazy in chat.
lawsuit against Powell to proceed because of the quote horrible and grossly incompetent job he has done. Can you tell us about that? What lawsuit is he talking about?
He's considering a lawsuit, and I won't speak on it any further. I will allow the president to do that himself.
Is it fair to say the administration is considering suing the Fed chair over this renovation?
That's what the president is saying.
Yes, Buzz Golf. We got to get away from partisan politics and putting ourselves in boxes, because what ends up happening is you put yourself, you're like, I'm a part of this group. But then you kind of have to take on all of the negative baggage that that group has associated with it. And that's a problem. And then for some reason in these giant groups like the Democrats, they have an issue just being like, no, just saying, we don't want this group of people. We're not supporting this bullshit that they're doing. Okay, over here, because you end up being defined by the craziest people in your group because they're the loudest. So you kind of got to shut them up or say, yo, stop, you're hurting our movement. And I think that's a big problem with associating yourself with one side or the other. Because it's like, what is it? If you're on the left, you're a commie, you're a libtard, you're whatever. There's so much LGBTQ, DEI, blah, 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 blah. You have to take all these on. And if you're on the right, you're a racist, you're a nationalist, you hate Jews, whatever it is, whatever the stereotypes are. And it's like, dude, if any time I want to say, I kind of agree with some of these ideas over here, I have to take on all of the baggage of that other shit and have to defend it, or no, that's just stupid. That's so dumb.
Discussions with anyone about this, or is this just like how advanced is this right now?
At this moment in time, the president is considering a lawsuit against the Fed, and I will leave it to him to comment further on it. Tamara, go
We
ahead.
talked about, sorry, very quickly, yesterday we talked about the NVIDIA chips deal the president has struck as well, AMD, the 15% stake that will go to the government. Do you have any detail on comment?
I think demonizing the other side is the problem. Are there shitty, maybe evil people on the left? Absolutely. Are there shitty, evil people on the right? Absolutely. Are there ones in the middle? Sure. Associating this huge group that is made up of 100 million people or whatever and saying that they're all bad, it's just not useful. It's just not useful.
Came about, the president said he asked for 20% from NVIDIA. Did he make the same 20% ask to AMD, and or is this something the administration is looking to do with?
Glad you said that in a two-party system. Do you guys think we're about to have a third party? I thought Elon Musk was trying to make a third party.
Other either chips or products.
Low key, I kind of think MAGA is going to become its own party. After the Trump arc, I think conservatism will come back in the traditional sense, and you'll have your Republicans, because I feel like Trump just kind of took over the Republican Party. So I think you'll go back to more of the traditional stuff, but then there'll be this MAGA movement that could be on its own. That'll be a third party. I don't know. It's just a thought I've had.
Going forward, is this a model that wants to build on?
Well, look.
Oh, we've covered England. I've done a little bit on England. We might do another one. The UK is crazy. We had a lot of people in chat from the UK, and it just seems wild over there.
Right now, it stands with these two companies. Perhaps it could expand in the future to other companies. I think it's a creative idea and solution. The legality of it, the mechanics of it is still being ironed out by the Department of Commerce, and I would defer you to them for any further details on how it will actually be implemented. But again, this was another idea of the president and his brain trust on his trade team to try to, get good deals for the American people and the American taxpayer.
See, and I think that's a problem. Who said that? Commander. You said the real problem is that everyone who voted for Trump was uneducated. And see, I think, didn't Hillary Clinton try that? She called them all deplorables. The news tried that. They said, oh, well, college educated people vote for Kamala Harris or something like that. And they kept trying to demonize or make you're stupid if you vote for this person. Again, I think that's a very bad way of convincing somebody to your side, because you can't just keep hammering them on the head and saying, you're wrong, you're stupid if you don't believe me, you're wrong, you're stupid if you don't believe me. Just because somebody didn't go to college doesn't mean that they're stupid. I know people that didn't go to college that make 6 figures. It's not the end all be all. What do you mean by educated? Because educated just means you sat in a classroom and you passed the tests. And you could get a C and be educated. You could get a C minus, you know what I mean? I get what I mean. Oh yeah, I don't think it's a good argument. I don't think that's a good argument. I believe it was CNN that said, and they were surprised by this, Kamala Harris did not flip a single district. She did not do better than Biden in a single district. Come on. Well, because everybody's uneducated. Everybody's too stupid to vote for the right person. That's not a good argument. If it was that simple, Kamala would have won, right? Kamala would have won. Oh, they're stupid, they're bad, they're evil. This is the good person. That doesn't work.
Did you see the report that China...
I'm not saying education isn't important. I believe education is important. But when you see this poll, well, most people, most of the educated people vote for this person. Okay, educated by what metric? By what metric? What are we measuring their education by? Simply like that they went and got a degree? So are you saying that they're... Okay, so all of them are better equipped. They have more of a right to cast a vote. Maybe we should even let stupid people vote. If you don't have a college degree, maybe you shouldn't even get the right to vote. Because you see what I'm saying? That's kind of what it sounds like. Because you're like, well, you know, I don't know.
Discouraging use of the H20 to some companies. Census were reporting that overnight there was private guidance sent to companies not banning the chip, but urging them to steer away from it. I wonder if you have any response to that.
I haven't read the report. I will, and we'll get you a comment on it. Tamara.
Thank you. Last week...
But I do agree, education is important.
The meeting with Putin was sort of described potentially as an opportunity for a deal. Now it's a feeling out. Has there been a shift in expectations?
No, sure. Okay. I just want to make it clear. I'm not against education in general, but I think that I live in a college town, and there's this air at times. There's different types of people, but there's some people that will look down on you for not being in college or not having a college degree, and they won't, you know, consider your opinions, or they'll consider them lesser, even though you might be more knowledgeable in whatever given subject you guys are talking about. Because let's be honest, you have a PhD, yeah, you've learned a bunch of like stuff, but you did focus on something, and it's you know, the ancillary things around it, but you don't know about everything, right? So you kind of, when you meet somebody or you're interacting with somebody, I think it's really good to go into interactions thinking this person knows something that I don't know. I could learn something from this person. It might not be this subject, it might not be that subject, but there's something that they know that I don't know. But if you go into things like, oh, well, I'm educated, so I know better about everything, get the fuck out. Bye. You're actually uneducated. If you have that opinion, I don't think you're educated. Like, I think there's a difference between, there's like different types of intelligence, and there's like sitting in a class and memorizing information, and then there's being able to like process information, and then there's also like people skills or like socializing. I think there's like different types of intelligences.
Or an effort to temper expectations about what success looks like for this meeting.
I mean, look, I think both can be true, right? The president...
Thank you. Yes, I'm going to call the electrician. I'm going to call the plumber. I'm going to call the carpenter. I'm going to, you know... If I want somebody to do a patio, I'll probably do it myself, because I've done carpentry, done electrical, done plumbing, I've done the demo work, I've laid the bricks for the patios, dug it out, I've done all the work, you know what I'm saying? I like doing the work because now I can save a bunch of money and shit. But there's a difference between a person that's studied a book and a person that's been out there doing it for 20 years and that can like build a shed in like 2 hours. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm gonna take their opinion on it and their information on it much higher than a person that just sat there and read a book. I mean, because they have real world experience.
He wants a peace deal.
But again, this is for each subject. Obviously, I want the brain surgeon that's going to cut my head open to have gone to school. Yeah. The heart surgeon, I want him to go to school. The engineer, I want him to go to school.
He wants to see this war come to an end. But this bilateral meeting is a bilateral meeting between one party in this two-party war, right? You need both countries to agree to a deal. The president is accepting this bilateral meeting with Putin on Friday, and I will let him speak further to it after it concludes about, you know, how he felt it went.
And could you also, completely unrelated topic, regarding the president's efforts in Washington, D.C., do you have any specific...
I'm sorry, I've just met some of the dumbest smart people. I mean, they're so fucking smart. They're so fucking smart, but they're so dumb at the same time, and it just blows my fucking mind. Oh my gosh. A couple of my friends, it just irks me. It irks me.
How homeless...
And again, that's from my perspective, right? And I probably look like an idiot to them, so it is what it is. Not that, you know, we're friends, so it's like, you know, and there's love. I'm sure they think I'm crazy for some of my thoughts. I think they're crazy for some of theirs. But, you know, it is what it is.
Will be dealt with, where they would be moved to. What does this look like?
I do, yes. And it's an important question, so thank you for raising it. The Metropolitan Police Department, with the support of the new federal agencies who have been surging on the streets of the District of Columbia, are going to enforce the laws that are already on the books here in Washington, D.C. For far too long, these laws have been completely ignored, and the homelessness problem has ravaged the city. So D.C.
I can hear.
All right, hold up.
Perfect. Thank you.
Are we starting? All right, guys. I think they're just testing. Hold up.
Good. Both headsets working great. So thank you. All right. This concludes any audio checks for this little bit. Unless I get any indicators from members of the press or anyone else that might need to hear anything, offering now. Otherwise, get a thumbs up just from anybody who's...
Thumbs up?
Okay.
Are we good? Are we ready to go? All right. Well, you know what? I feel like president is a great job because you can be fashionably late to anything. You can be fashionably late to anything. I'm not saying he's late, but you could just show up whenever.
DC Code 22-1307 and DC Municipal Regulation 24-100 give the Metropolitan Police Department the authority to take action when it comes to homeless encampments. So homeless individuals will be given the option to leave their encampment, to be taken to a homeless shelter, to be offered addiction or mental health services, and if they refuse, they will be susceptible to fines or to jail time. Again, these are pre-existing laws that are already on the books. They have not been enforced, which is part of the reason for this federalizing of the National Guard to bring in this assistance for law enforcement. While we are targeting criminals and trying to remove criminals off of the streets, we also want to make DC safe and beautiful, and that removes...
I'm loving the rhyming here. The Blueberry says, Bulge, it's all right in your face. Why do you think they use red and blue? Who else uses red and blue? Oh yeah, the police that keep you in line and throw you in a human zoo. I don't know. It tickled me, the rhyme.
Mentally disturbed individuals and homeless encampments as well. So we will be using these regulations and code that already exists to clean up our streets. And we've already had great success. Not many of you picked up on this, but the United States Park Police has actually done remarkable work in terms of removing homeless encampments from the city. Since the president signed this executive order in March, 70 homeless encampments have been removed by the U.S. Park Police. There are only 2 homeless encampments remaining in D.C. federal parks.
I can see issues with homeless encampments. It's like getting rid of them. Okay, sure. At the same time, they do need to go somewhere. So maybe some more resources into shelters or whatever. I don't know what DC looks like for shelters. I know where I live, we have, in this city, we have one really good shelter. The other one I believe is a cult, and they just manipulate people and use them for labor and control them. But that's what I personally believe. I don't know people that have gone through the full program, but it's like they got really weird rules at this one shelter. It's like you're not allowed to own a car. You're not allowed to have a job. You have to go to their sermons and you have to work for them for like $2 an hour or some shit. Like they lock you down to where you actually can't get out. But I heard after like the program, I think it's a 2-year program, you end up with something. But I always tell people when I'm pointing them towards resources to go to this one shelter that's just great. You can stay there a month at a time. Get extensions. They help you get a job. They have services come and pick people up for work. We feed you, do your laundry. I mean, it's just a great fucking resource. But we have one of those here. Some places probably don't have that. So, and that place can only house right now maybe 100 people. So, well, like 60 men, 20-ish women, and then like 8 families or something. So
under the National Park Service's jurisdiction, and the removal of those 2 remaining camps is scheduled for this week. So the U.S. Park Police will be leading...
You said cults are okay, just don't drink the Kool-Aid. I don't know. I just talked because I worked in social work, and it's part of my job and everything. And I just heard a lot about this one place, and it seemed like a trap, if nothing else. It seemed like they were trying to get people trapped in their system so they could use their labor and kind of like abuse them for that. And that's just how I felt about it. And it just felt like I would tell people, because it's difficult because we don't have walk-in shelters here. So you can't just show up at a shelter and get in. You have to call this third party who will put you on this list, try to connect you to the right shelter, and then there'll be a check-in time where you come and do all this stuff. So if it's 2 a.m. and you're homeless and you call the shelter, you call me or call whatever, I kind of have to let you know there's really nowhere for you to go. If it's an emergency, if you really can't be out on the street, you can't figure it out, go to the emergency room. Call 911 if you have to and go to the emergency room. You can sit in the emergency room. If you have to, since it's the weekend and we can't get you checked in here because the offices are closed on the weekend, you know, I would suggest you go over to the cult place, see if you can get a bed there, stay the weekend, play the game, and come back over here and get in here because you don't want to be over there. So it's difficult because you'll have people come to the door and you can't, like, there's a whole system in place that they have to go through to be able to get the help in the first place. So it's not hard. It's a phone call, but when you're out on the street and you need, you know, you want somewhere to sleep, you got to wait till the morning. And even in the morning, everybody gets kicked out the shelter because they don't want people just living in the shelter 24/7. You're supposed to be out, try to get a job, you know, build your stuff up, you know, utilize the resources they give you. So even if you stay out all night, you still can't check in the next day until like 8 p.m. or like 7 p.m. or whatever. So I don't know. It's just, there's a lot to it.
Leading this effort alongside MPD.
Just very quickly, he had talked in one of his social media posts about moving them very far outside of the city. Is that off?
No, it's not off. We're exploring how we could do that. But again, homeless shelters, offered addiction and mental health services, or jail if they refuse are the options on the table right now. And we'll continue to explore that option.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Caroline. President Zelensky said moments ago that he thinks Russia is preparing for a new offensive on at least 3 different areas of the front line. Is this something that you could confirm based on U.S. intelligence? And if the president sees that Putin is indeed planning major new offensive or
Yo, Commander says, when society wants loyal work dogs, there would never be housing for homeless. That's one of my concerns about a lot of social issues in general, like homelessness, is it's this like hole that you could just keep dumping money into, right? And the issue is you have these institutions that are built that people make a living off of serving these communities. If you were to solve the issue of homelessness, if you were to solve, it's like if you were to cure cancer, a lot of people would be out of jobs in that field, right? If you were to fix homelessness, there's a lot of institutions that would disappear, or they should disappear. In a perfect world, they wouldn't have to exist. So there is this weird, I don't know, it's like it's an industry in and of itself, right? It's kind of weird.
moving troops? Would he call off the meeting on Friday?
I'm not in a position to confirm or deny or comment on that intel at this time. Monica.
Thanks, Caroline. My question involves Russiagate.
Oh my God, you're talking about trans stuff. Oh my gosh. I get distracted by chat, and I've been better about staying on topic. But like that's at least 2 or 3 topics down the road today, if we make it.
A whistleblower alleges that then Congressman Adam Schiff approved leaking classified
Tile and masonry? Really? Yo, Tony B, welcome back. I forget where you're at. I don't know. I don't want you to dox yourself, but I know you're in the U.S. Hopefully that's not doxing you. What state, if you don't mind me asking? But welcome back. Welcome back. Knoxville, Tennessee. Damn. And so there's just not a lot of trade work right now for like masons, is what you're saying?
information to smear President Trump's image during the Russiagate scandal. Does the president plan to investigate?
Somebody said a commander said it is weird. Even when they talk about housing, why aren't we building affordable housing? It's like we don't want poor people. Well, the issue is where does the money come from to build it, right? It's not like it just comes out of thin air. Like somebody has to fund it, right? They're doing a lot of housing projects in my area. They're just building a lot, but there's so much gentrification. It's becoming so expensive to live here. I got really lucky with this place I moved into, but my rent kept going up. And if I were to re-sign the lease at the apartment I was going to be like $1,800, I think, $1,900 or something. And I got really lucky with the house I moved into, but the prices are just, I don't know, they're just going up. They're just going up and going up. Like I could find a cheaper apartment and stuff, but every year it's just more, so.
Adam Schiff, and what would accountability look like?
We got somebody. Hey, what's going on, UK? First floor audio. What's going on? We haven't covered anything in Europe today yet. I don't know if we're gonna make it, but welcome. Appreciate you for being here.
If more information confirms this report.
The president has already said he wants to see Adam Schiff held accountable for the countless lies he told the American people in relation to the Russiagate scandal. I brought Tulsi Gabbard.
You said I'm not 33. degree. Wait, what? Tuesday I'll be in Florida. Are you traveling for work or just getting some like mind space?
Out to this podium to talk to you about all of that, and this administration is taking accountability very seriously. As for this new FBI
Swamp for Fox News, yo, yes, I mean you'll owe nothing and you'll be happy. Oh my gosh, yeah, it is a problem when you have like a handful of companies that own basically everything. Oh no, we have antitrust laws, we don't have monopolies, and it's like, bro, you have like a handful of like money movers that basically have investment in like everything. Like heavy investments in everything.
Kash Patel last night declassified a 302 FBI document showing that a whistleblower who is a Democrat, a career intelligence officer who worked for Democrats on the House Intel Committee for more than a decade, repeatedly warned the FBI that then Rep. Adam Schiff had approved leaking.
Tony, I'm gonna translate your message to You're visiting a female in Florida.
Classified information
because she has a great personality.
To smear then President Donald Trump over the Russiagate scandal. This is obviously a bombshell whistleblower report. Hopefully more people in this room will cover it as such. And I have a quote from the FBI director for all of you. He has said this: for years, certain officials used their positions to selectively leak classified information.
As a few messages I want to respond to, but this one jumps out at me. Libra 61 star, you said homelessness is quite simply a money issue. I would have to push back on you there. Just having worked in the field a bit, I've been homeless. Shit, I've lived in my car when I was a kid with my family. Okay, I don't count this as homeless because we had a car. So that's like homeless on easy mode, right? You're not really homeless. But in my opinion, I just call it houseless. But like some years ago, as an adult, I lived in my car and shit, for a bit of time, stayed in a tent, all that good stuff, busted my ass, working like 16 hours a day. But I don't know if it's just a money issue, because when I became homeless, I got up and I just worked and I got a place. Some people, they get broken, I think. And I've been there. I've been like down bad where you look ahead of you and you see the mountain in front of you and you're just tired. And you're like, even if I start climbing this mountain, something else is going to knock me down. And you get in this mindset of it just doesn't matter. And I think people get into that mindset. And even if you throw money at that mindset, it's not going to fix it. Like you could give them a place to live and they'll lose it within a few months. This is not all people, but I've seen it happen. So, I mean, it's a little bit more than a money issue. There's mental health. When I worked at homeless shelter and had these experiences, I realized it's not a one-size-fits-all problem. And money helps. Money helps everything, right? You always need money. You always need resources. But just throwing money at it, I don't think will fix the problem. Like, you have to be thoughtful in how you go about, because some people don't want to be helped. Like, I've had friends that live on the street, they panhandle, they go into the woods and stay in a tent, and they're happier. They don't want to get a job. They want to go out and make their change, get their drink, and go back to their tent. They don't want to have to maintain the apartment. They don't want to have to go to work. They don't want all of these responsibilities and obligations. There are people like that. Do you force them into a home? They're choosing to panhandle. This is not all people, but there are people like that. What do you do about that? Also, can you forcibly commit somebody? What if somebody is having a mental episode? In certain cases, you can have them committed, but for how long? There's no places to put people that need around the clock care if they don't have insurance or they don't have money. So they're just back on the street. I've watched the ambulance drop them off on the street outside the homeless shelter. I've had a hospital call and say, hey, this person needs a place. I'm like, sorry, they can't come here. It's not how it works. Try this other place. 20, 30 minutes later, the other place calls me. Hey, a police officer just brought this person to the shelter. We can't take them. Can you take them? No, we can't take them. We have the same rules as you. 20 minutes later, the cop shows up with the person at the shelter, comes in and talking to me. And I'm like, as I've explained to you, actually the cops already know because I talked to enough of them that they know, I think the layout of how this works. But as I talk to each person, the person at the hospital and the person at the other shelter, we cannot take this person. And it becomes this game of hot potato because there's nowhere for this person to go. That's just what it is.
to shape political narratives. It was all done with one purpose: to weaponize intelligence and law enforcement for political gain. Those abuses eroded public trust in our institutions.
Sorry, I've been going on these rants, and it's like, it takes me so long because it's just like, oh my gosh. Because I've sat and thought about this. I spent a lot of time thinking about these things and witnessing a lot of stuff, and I don't know, it's heartbreaking, especially when you see this person that looks like a decent person and you watch them live on the street for like a year or two, and you watch them just, their body just break down, their skin, you start to be able to see their bones. When they're cracked out, like you're having a conversation with them and their jaw's locking up and they're like acting all like, but you're used to seeing them when they're normal, but you're slowly seeing them just get worse and worse and worse. And I don't have the resources. I can't just bring, I've had people at my place. When I worked at a coffee shop, like I said, I had friends that were in positions like this, and I would, try to help. I'd give them rides to their storage unit, so they sleep in their storage unit. On cold nights, I let them crash on my couch, sometimes, but I lived in like a damn near a studio apartment. I couldn't really be doing that like that. One dude, he played guitar and he was really good at guitar, but he had a problem with pawning his guitar. He had problems. He just had problems. So he'd pawn his guitar and then eventually get some money and get it out the pawn shop. Long story short, I lent him my guitar so he could go out and make his money. And he went out, made his money, got his guitar back, gave me mine back. And he knew better than to let something happen to my guitar. I mean, I did trust him with that. But it's just, every person is different, so.
The FBI will now lead the charge with our partners at DOJ, and Congress will have the chance to uncover how political power may have been weaponized and to restore.
You said Helen Ross is your best bet in Knoxville. I had to go through a crazy house over telling the hospital I was feeling like hurting myself. There's some things I can't say on YouTube, I think. Just to get into the program. That was 5 years ago. It's even worse now. Jeez. If I missed some of your guys' comments, I'm sorry. I'm just like, I get going sometimes, and it's. Hey, okay. This was all Blueberry. This was all done by design. They closed the institutions down, put them on the streets so that you give the devil permission to put you in there when it's your turn. What's so hard to understand? I'm, maybe I'm a little young, but I have heard that we had the mental institutions at one point in time, and that there was a point in time that they were essentially closed down en masse. I do think we need some sort of places that are like nursing homes for some people that maybe can't take care of themselves. Now, some of these people, dude, there's so many different situations. There's like homeless people with houses, okay? Like this one guy, long story short, he has a whole wife, whole house. She comes by, brings him care packages. He's living on the street. What's his story? Basically, he had a son, young kid, maybe 6, 7, 8 years old. I don't remember. And he decided to take his son to a drug deal one day. The deal went bad. Bullets started flying. The son was killed. The dude's head got messed up, could never enter the house again, and has lived on the street since. How do you help that person?
Accountability. That's what the administration is focused
on.
Has
a house, has a wife.
Some more media reports on this whistleblower allegation. If this were reversed, if this were allegations against the president or any of these cabinet officials, I'm sure everyone in this room would cover it as such. Elizabeth, go ahead.
Thanks, Caroline. After yesterday's action to federalize the D.C. police, is the president still interested in working with Congress to end the Home Rule Act, something you talked about in the past? Senator Mike Lee has a bill on it. Is that something he's still interested in?
The president is very much still interested in working with Congress to address many of the issues that have plagued Washington, D.C., such as the cashless bail policy, which has been a complete disaster for the city. Juvenile delinquency is another major problem in the city that Congress can address. So I know Congress is on recess right now. When they get back to work to Washington, this president looks forward to having these conversations with our friends on Capitol Hill so we can work with them to make D.C. safe and beautiful again. And again, we encourage Democrats to join us in this effort. Perhaps their approval ratings would move up a little bit if they did. I saw a new poll today. Democrat approval rating is at an all-time low, 32%. If they could just stand by the basic notion of law and order, perhaps they would see that tick up a bit, and we welcome them to do that. Dasha.
Thanks, Caroline. President Trump yesterday...
Are you talking to me? Are you telling me to look that up, Tony, or somebody else?
Podium indicated this, so has NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, that in order for peace to happen, it is very likely that Ukraine will have to cede some land to Russia.
Yeah.
Zelensky has repeatedly said no land for peace. That's not going to happen. Has this administration communicated to Zelensky that he's going to have
That he's gonna have to. That he's gonna have to. Like, what do you mean, no? Okay, well, that means that the war continues, right? I mean, if Putin was just says, you know what? You can have it all back. My mind would just be blown. My mind would be blown.
change that position?
Look, I appreciate you're asking that question in a different way than your colleague Michael in the back. I don't want to get into the details of these negotiations and these discussions that have taken place out of respect for where we are right now, and I'll let the president speak on it further if he wishes to.
One more about Israel. I know the president has had a call with Prime Minister Netanyahu recently. Netanyahu is planning to seize the remainder of.
So are you okay to give up states to end a war? Are we winning? Do we want to keep fighting? If we want to keep fighting for the states, keep fighting for the states. But do I think we're going to be able to tell the people that are occupying the land, okay, and shooting at me, you're going to stop doing that and you're going to give me that back? No, they just spilled blood and spent a bunch of money to capture that piece of land. They're not going to give it back. So it's a negotiation at that point. We want it to stop so badly that we're willing to give this up. Or fuck it, scorched earth, fuck everybody, last man standing. Those are your choices pretty much. I just don't know in what world Putin says, you know what, my bad. I just don't get that. Like, I mean, where's Crimea right now? Did he just have a change of heart on Crimea? Yeah, it's just like, come on, be real.
Gaza City. What is the administration's position on this move by Israel's government?
Maybe if he gets some, because I see somebody talk about business, maybe if he gets some sort of deal with Ukraine for like natural resources or something like that. But essentially, he's going to get something. He's going to get something.
Look, this is an incredibly complex and
unless Russia's hurting. Now, if Russia is hurting so badly that they just cannot continue the war, I mean, there might be more leverage there that you could use, because Russia could say, hey, we're done, but we're holding this land. Ukraine could say, actually, we're taking that land back. So then the war doesn't stop. So then that puts Russia on their back foot, where they have to be like, ah, shit, we do kind of need this to stop because it's expensive. We've already, we're not really going to get much more. So we might have to give them a little bit. That I could see happening, maybe. Like a concession.
complicated.
Ah, shit. Oh, Lord. What is going on? What is going on in chat? Oh, come on, guys. Not too... look, just don't spam. You can put your flags in the chat, like one time or once in a while, but we can't be doing walls of flags, my guys, like over and over and over again. But I do appreciate your guys' patriotism, wherever you're coming from.
That, again, was inherited by this president, by his predecessor, Joe Biden. October 7th was one of the worst days in history. We saw innocent people slaughtered, murdered, kidnapped by Hamas terrorists. This administration has taken extensive time and effort and resources since Inauguration Day.
Somebody, Blueberry says it's for lithium. I mean, I looked into their natural resources, and they are very, very rich in them. So definitely worth the money being spent. At least the last time I looked it up, it was like a pretty good, in terms of money spent on the war, for like the investments for the resources you're getting. A few years ago, it did look like a good investment if you could actually capture it all within, like, I don't know, it was like 5 to 7 years or something, and you would still have like roughly $1 trillion of like resources, or over $1 trillion of resources, like up. But this is some real quick like napkin math. It was like, I understand that Russia doesn't want NATO on their border, just like we wouldn't want Russia or China on our borders. Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense. Like, I totally get their idea for it. They're like, hey, we don't want NATO to expand. So to stop that from happening, since Ukraine is kind of flirting with the idea of we're just going to invade Ukraine. I mean, I get it from their perspective.
In January, to end this conflict, we have given many flexible arrangements backed by Israel to Hamas, and unfortunately, Hamas has never agreed. Looking ahead, I will let the president...
Don't get me started on the Georgia Guidestones. I went to the Georgia Guidestones many years ago, and I am so mad that somebody blew those bitches up and that shit got swept under the rug. That shit is just so annoying to me. That shit is so annoying to me.
speak
Anyway,
on
sorry.
where he sees this going, but this is, of course, an incredibly complex and complicated situation. The administration has made our goal clear. We want to see
Those things were amazing. I mean, oh my gosh, it's just in the middle of the field. These giant, like, I don't want to say obelisks, but essentially like monolithic almost structures of like granite, like this, like huge ass like stones or slabs with like 10 different languages. Oh my gosh. Hold on.
conflict end. We want to see the hostages released, and we've tried. The president and his national security team have given extensive effort and time to doing that.
With how Israel has used those resources and the assistance that you've provided?
Look, I'll let the president speak on the further actions that Israel may or may not be taking. Alexander, good to see you.
Good to see you as well, Caroline. Thank you. The Kremlin is expressing interest that Friday's meeting will move beyond just terms to end the war into improving bilateral relations. There's talk over how they're interested in potentially.
And these things are huge, mind you. These things are like, I don't even know, like 20 feet tall or something. Maybe not 20 feet. Maybe like, no, maybe about 20 feet. I feel like it's about 2 of me, at least 2 of me. And I'm about 10 feet tall. So yeah, these things are huge. And there's like a bunch of different languages. It's written in English, and it's the rules for humanity after an apocalypse. Like, these were supposed to stand after like a cataclysmic event and kind of tell people how to build society back. And it's written in a bunch of different languages. I think there's like something in the center that like lines up with like the North Star, and you could do like navigation. Very interesting, but somebody blew it up one day. It's just out of nowhere. Anyway, sorry. I know this was like a side tangent, but it's a niche thing that does not get brought up very often. So when it does, I have to go off.
Restoring direct flights between Russia and the United States. Is President
30 footers? I gotta look it up because they are big. Let me think here. Let me think. Let me Google Guidestones, Georgia. Size. Okay, they're nearly 19 feet tall. That's why I said about 2 of me, about 10 feet. Each of the slabs weighed over 42,000 pounds. And it had a capstone and supporting tablet. Oh, supporting the tablet.
Trump open to those kind of peripheral conversations, or is this direct?
Low key, it did have some like kind of New World Order like shit, because it said, I mean, depending how you take this line, it said keep the world's population. I believe it was 250 million or less, or 250,000. Let me look it up. Guidestones, rules, I guess. All right, the 10 rules. Humanity. Okay, here we go. Humanity. Or maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Okay, 500 million. That's still not a lot of people. That's, you know what I mean? We've got, what, 8 billion? So you're saying 500 million. We need to get rid of like 7.5 billion people to live in harmony with nature. That's a little scary. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Unite humanity with a living new language. Low-key, this stuff is kind of like New World Order. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with a tempered reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. 6, let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. 7, avoid petty laws and useless officials. You know what? Useless officials and petty laws. You know what? I can get behind that. Balance personal rights with social duties. Prize truth, beauty, and love, seeking harmony with the infinite. And lastly, be not a cancer on this earth, leave room for nature. So that was like the 10 rules, commandments, what have you, on the Georgia Guidestones. Anyway, back to this.
Directly focused on ending the war in Ukraine.
I think this conversation on Friday is focused on ending the war in Ukraine as far as the president's perspective goes. Those conversations, I think the president is interested in having, but his main priority right now...
That's what it was. Tony B says, Georgia Guidestones were awesome. They had holes that only lit up on solstice, and some asshole blew them up. I know. All right, I'm done. Let me calm down. I'm sorry. It just irked me so much.
Is ending this war and to stop the killing that has gone on for far too long. You're welcome. Carolyn, in the back. Go ahead.
Yeah, 2 questions on the economy. So first, we've had small businesses tell us that it's not foreign exporters who are eating the tariffs, it's them. And they've held off on raising prices, but soon they're going to have to raise prices. What is the White House's message to them?
The White House's message to our small business owners across the country is you have never had a better ally or friend or supporter in this White House than President Donald Trump, who is a businessman himself, who understands your concerns, and who wants to restore wealth back to our country through the powerful use of tariffs. And that's what he's focused on doing, while simultaneously driving down costs. You have to remember, we are 6 months into this administration, and we had a president who had no business experience, had no idea what he was doing, and who funneled billions of wasteful spending dollars into our economy, which created the worst inflation crisis in a generation. Now this president is focused on tackling inflation, deregulating, cutting costs, cutting red tape to make it easier for small business owners to thrive. And again, the economic indicators show that we are moving in the right direction. In January, when this president showed up to the White House, the 6-month annualized core inflation rate was 3.7%. Today, 6 months later, the 6-month annualized core inflation rate is 2.4%. So we are trending in the right direction. Moving forward, since President Trump took office, for another 6 months, inflation will be tracking.
Sorry, I'm trying to. Hey, Serbia, what's going on? From Serbia. Where's everybody from? Where's everybody from? I'm curious. I know we got some Americans here, obviously. Canadians, we got you in here. You're the second biggest demographic. People from the UK, I saw you. You're like my third biggest demographic. It's people all over here. People all over. I'm sorry. I'm like searching for this damn picture because I want to change my damn thumbnail and I can't find it. And it is so frustrating.
At 1.9% at this trajectory. You look at grocery prices, they fell, energy prices fell, fuel oil fell, ship fares fell, propane fell, butter, margarine, eggs, non-prescription drugs. You go through the list of items that are
there we go.
And then I would also point to that report this morning showing that small business optimism has reached a 5-month high. So look, we inherited an economic mess from the previous administration, but this administration is focused on
Tennessee, the country of Tennessee. Oh my gosh, that's like 2 people in Tennessee here. Democrats cooked everything they touched. What's going on, Ozzy? Hey, welcome back. Palm Coast, Florida. Hey. Put Bill Gates and P. Diddy, though. New Hampshire. Okay, we got some East Coast people. East Coast over here as well, guys. Texas, very good, very good. I actually got a few Texans in here. What else we got? Gosh, I barely even traveled the U.S. Florida. Lots of people from Florida. We don't mind fledgling streamers struggle. We like the community we're building. Heyo! Appreciate you. We try to be here daily. We fail at it, but we're here. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you like the hangout.
On fixing it every day. And part of that is signing the largest tax cuts into law to put more money back into the pockets of these small business owners.
Just on the BLS, they collect the inflation data, obviously. If the jobs data is not reliable, should Americans trust the inflation data?
Well, look, the jobs data has had massive revisions. We want to ensure that all of the data, the inflation data, the jobs data, any data point that is coming out of the BLS is trustworthy and is accurate, which is why the president has restored new leadership at the BLS. Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Thank you. So Gavin Newsom has said that California is going to sue in response to the government's demand for $1 billion from UCLA over the DOJ's anti-Semitism findings. Newsom has called this extortion and ransom. So I'm wondering what the White House's response is to Newsom on UCLA.
Yo, false doctrine. 15-minute cities? That sounds familiar. I'll look it up. It sounds familiar. The line? I can't say I've heard of that. Let me see.
This administration is well within its legal right to do this, and we want to ensure that our colleges and our universities are respecting the First Amendment rights and the religious liberties of students on their campuses, and UCLA has failed to do that. And I have a whole list of examples that I will forward to Gavin. Newsom's press office.
Thank you guys for telling me I'm muted. Okay, I have the damn mic hotkeyed to the number 1. I'm gonna undo it after this. I was just ranting about something, and I'm just so mad at myself. Did you guys hear any of that? The 15-minute city shit or nothing? Because I just read a whole ass definition was ranting. Damn it. Okay. A 15-minute city is an urban planning concept where residents can access most of their daily needs and services within a 15-minute walk or bike ride from their homes. This approach aims to create vibrant, self-sufficient neighborhoods by promoting proximity, diversity, and accessibility to amenities. The concept has gained traction as a way to improve quality of life, reduce reliance on cars, and promote sustainability. I think that's great. I think you really like Kami. He's one of the moderators here. He's all about that. The place I live has good public transport, especially if you're just trying to get around the city. There's a lot of walking trails and bike paths. However, I mean, if you're going from one city to another or anything like that for work, I mean, you're probably gonna want a car. Like personally, I have a car it's just easier. And there's like a freedom that comes with that, but you can get around really easily without one, I think, around the city area. And more of that would be nice. I mean, it really would be.
On the topic of public safety, the Trump administration continues to shatter records on border security. According to brand new numbers released this morning from Customs and Border Patrol.
I know I'm gonna forget to unhotkey it, so I'm doing that right now. But all right.
Illegal crossings have fallen to all-time lows once again. Here were the records set in July. Again, these numbers were released this morning. The lowest monthly nationwide encounters ever, down nearly 90% from the monthly average under the Biden administration. The lowest monthly Border Patrol apprehensions nationwide ever, smashing the previous record set the prior month in June. The lowest monthly Southwest border apprehensions ever. The lowest daily apprehension average ever. The lowest single-day apprehensions ever. And for the third straight month, there were 0 illegal aliens.
Fixed. What's so funny is I just got this guy too, right? It's a little stream deck, which I'm supposed to be using for this stuff, but I was so excited to get on, I did not set it up yet. And things will be much smoother soon, guys.
Released into the country. Let me repeat that remarkable statistic. For the third month in a row, not a single illegal alien was released by the Trump administration into the United States of America. This is historic.
Wait, what the hell? Oh, did it just oh my God, I hit a flipping button and it brought it back. Hold on, boom. I think we were right there.
Work with them to make DC safe and beautiful again. And again, we encourage Democrats to join us in this effort. Perhaps their approval ratings would move up a little bit if they did. I saw a new poll today. Democrat approval rating is at an all-time low, 32%. If they could just stand by the basic notion of law and order, perhaps they would see that tick up a bit, and we welcome them to do that. Dasha.
Thanks, Caroline. President Trump yesterday at this podium indicated this, so has NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, that in order for peace to happen, it is very likely that Ukraine will have to cede some land.
Yeah, I've seen some videos and stuff on that, Tony B, about how they mine lithium and stuff, and some of it was horrific. I think it was lithium. It was like all these people in this like giant hole or like cavern or whatever, and they were like digging with like their hands or something for the lithium, I believe. I don't know. It just seemed like some dystopian type shit. I don't know. It might not have been lithium. I'm trying to think, but I've seen some stuff on it and I'm like, whoa, that's how we're mining that? Ugh, that is not ideal.
Russia. Zelensky has repeatedly said no land for peace. That's not going to happen. Has this administration communicated to Zelensky that he's going to have to change that position?
Look, I appreciate you're asking that question in a different way than your colleague Michael in the back. I don't want to get into the details of these negotiations and these discussions that have taken place out of respect for where we are right now, and I'll let the president speak on it further if he wishes to.
One more about Israel.
Sure.
I know the president has had a call with Prime Minister Netanyahu recently. Netanyahu is planning to seize the remainder of Gaza City. What is the administration's position on this move by Israel's government?
Look, this is an incredibly complex and complicated war that, again, was inherited by this president, by his predecessor, Joe Biden. October 7th was one of the worst days.
You said, who's the source? Anonymous. Our sources are anonymous.
in history. We saw innocent people slaughtered, murdered, kidnapped by Hamas terrorists. This administration has taken extensive time and effort and resources since Inauguration Day in January to end this conflict.
I saw Zeitgeist like 15 years ago, so I don't have much recollection of it.
We have given many flexible arrangements backed by Israel to Hamas, and unfortunately, Hamas has never agreed. Looking ahead, I will let...
I hear you, Epic Redneck. However, can't have all that in my chat, you know, obviously. So appreciate the info, but you have to word it in a way that is not breaking terms of service on YouTube.
The president speak on...
Circle back.
...this going. But this is, of course, an incredibly complex and complicated situation. The administration has made our goal clear. We want to see this conflict end. We want to see the hostages released. And we've tried, the president and his national security team have given extensive effort and time to doing that.
With how Israel has used those resources and the assistance that you've provided?
Look, I'll let the president speak on the further actions that Israel may or may not be taking. Alexander, good to see you.
Good to see you as well, Caroline. Thank you. The Kremlin is expressing interest that Friday's meeting will move beyond just terms to end the war into improving bilateral relations. There's talk over how they're interested in potentially restoring direct flights between Russia and the United States. Is President Trump open to those kind of peripheral...
I was curious about that. I take it, yeah, there wouldn't be any direct flights, I guess, while this conflict was going on. I wonder what it's like being an American in Russia. Because I imagine there's got to be some Americans over there even during all this. Must be kind of awkward.
conversations, or is this directly focused on ending the war in Ukraine?
I think this conversation on Friday is focused on ending the war in Ukraine as far as the president's perspective goes. Those conversations, I think the president is interested in having, but his main priority right now is ending this war and to stop the killing that has gone on for far too long. You're welcome.
Carolyn.
In the back. Go ahead.
Yeah, two questions on the economy. So first, we've had small businesses tell us that it's not foreign exporters who are eating the tariffs, it's them. And they've held off on raising prices, but soon they're going to have to raise prices. What is the White House's message to them?
The White House's message to our...
I wish I was more cultured, because you said, if you live in Russia, I feel bad for you. And I wanted to be like, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but I don't know any Russian shit to make the connection.
Small business owners across the country, as you have never had a better ally or friend or supporter in this White House than President Donald Trump, who is a businessman himself, who understands your concerns and who wants to restore wealth back to our country through the powerful use of tariffs. And that's what he's focused on doing, while simultaneously driving down costs. You have to remember, we are 6 months into this administration, and we had a president who had no business experience, had no idea what he was doing, and who funneled billions of wasteful spending dollars into our economy, which created the worst inflation crisis in a generation. Now this president is focused on tackling inflation, deregulating, cutting costs, cutting red tape to make it easier for small business owners to thrive. And again, the economic indicators show that we are moving in the right direction. In January, when this president showed up to the White House, the 6-month annualized core inflation rate was 3.7%. Today, 6 months later, the 6-month annualized core inflation rate is 2.4%. So we are trending in the right direction. Moving forward, since President Trump took office, for another 6 months, inflation will be tracking at 1.9% at this trajectory. You look at grocery prices, they fell, energy prices fell, fuel oil fell, ship fares fell, propane fell, butter, margarine, eggs, non-prescription drugs. You go through the list of items that are falling.
Professor Oak, it has been so freaking long. Holy crap. I was going through my mod list and I was like unmodding people that like haven't, come around or anything like that in a while or whatever. And I saw your name and I was like, I'm gonna leave Professor Oak. And this was like the other day. I was like, something tells me they're gonna come back. Welcome back. It's been a minute.
I would also point to that report this morning showing that small business optimism has reached a 5-month high. So look, we inherited an economic mess from the previous administration, but this administration is focused on fixing it every day. And part of that is signing the largest tax cuts into law to put more money back into the pockets of these small business owners.
Just on the BLS, they collect the inflation data, obviously. If the jobs data is not reliable, should Americans trust the inflation data?
Well, look, the jobs data has had massive revisions. We want to ensure that all of the data, the inflation data, the jobs data, any data point that is coming out of the BLS is trustworthy and is accurate, which is why the president president has restored new leadership at the BLS. Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Thank you. So Gavin Newsom has said that California is going to sue in response to the government's demand for $1 billion from UCLA over the DOJ's anti-Semitism findings. Newsom has called this extortion and ransom. So I'm wondering what the White House's response is to Newsom on UCLA.
Bring it on, Gavin. This administration is well within its legal right to do this, and we want to ensure that our colleges and our universities are respecting the First Amendment rights and the religious liberties of students on their campuses, and UCLA has failed to do that. And I have a whole list of examples that I will forward to Gavin Newsom's press office if he hasn't seen them himself. Brett.
Thanks, Caroline. What was the reason that President Trump chose to move on from Billy Long as IRS commissioner?
Look, I think the president wants to see Billy Long as the ambassador to Iceland. As you know, that is where he will be headed. And the president loves Billy Long, and he thinks that he can serve the administration well in this position. For now, Secretary Scott Besson will be the acting IRS commissioner.
Timeline for announcing a new pick?
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Oh, Ed, go ahead, but then in the back. Yes.
Go in the back first.
Okay, sure.
Thanks, Caroline. One foreign policy and then one domestic question, if I may. There are roughly 30,000 children from Ukraine who have reportedly been abducted and are kind of dispersed around Russia. They've been showing up on these websites for adoption. Is there return?
Just because it keeps popping up, I'm just curious to hear it. It's only like a minute long.
For the architect of that, I'd nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize.
We are on the precipice of a meeting between President Trump and President Putin in Alaska. Drawing on your experience as Secretary of State, if you were en route to Alaska, what would you be looking to get? What does an acceptable deal look like?
He is not meeting with a friend. He is meeting with an adversary, and an adversary who wants to see the destruction of the United States and the Western alliance. But if he could bring about the end to this terrible war where Putin is the aggressor, invading a neighbor country, trying to change the borders, if he could end it without putting Ukraine in a position where it had to concede its territory to the aggressor, had to, in a way, validate Putin's vision of greater Russia, but instead could really stand up to Putin to make it clear there must be a ceasefire, there will be no exchange of territory, and that over a period of time, Putin should be actually withdrawing from the territory he seized in order to demonstrate good faith efforts, let us say, not to threaten European security.
I mean, I hear it. It's just, again, it makes zero sense to me why he would just leave empty-handed. It makes zero sense. Zero sense whatsoever. But I mean, hey, that's the best case scenario, right? I guess.
Turn a red line for the president in any deal ending the war?
The administration is aware of these reports. I don't want to set red lines for the president on his behalf from this podium. However, the president did encourage Ukraine and Russia to speak directly to one another in terms of these humanitarian issues. And we have seen progress. You have seen prisoners of war swapped between these two countries as a result of these direct talks, as well as children, and that remains a concern. But it's one that Russia and Ukraine need to iron out together, which is why this president has encouraged them to speak.
And then if I can, the D.C. action real quick. The president said yesterday that this is a model federalizing the National Guard that could be used to combat really high rates of crime in other cities like Chicago, LA, Baltimore. What sort of authority would he have to deploy forces like that, absent the Home Rule Act?
Look, the president is speaking about what he'd like to see take place in other cities around the country. Right now, this administration is focused on making D.C. safe and beautiful again. When the time comes, we'll talk about that. But I will note that the president wants to see all of our nation's cities be safe. But I think starting with our nation's capital is a great place to begin, and it should serve as a model for the rest of the country. Ed.
Just to bind up a few of the D.C. things, because a lot of them have been asked, but in talking with Congress about...
Hey, what's going on, Tribe Before JT? Welcome back.
The home rule, whatever else.
Sorry, I'm over here just on X, just seeing what the new memes are. I've kind of fell off of the politics, so I know that D.C. is getting a crackdown. I wanted to check that out. I wanted to go to our European brothers see what's going on over there, because UK has stuff going on. Spain seems to have stuff going on. I don't know if I ever did the Poland border situation. That was interesting. I don't know if I covered that like a couple months ago. I might circle back to that. Oh, but welcome. Appreciate y'all for hanging out. I don't know when Putin's meeting with Trump. I should have just Googled it. But, I mean, they're ready. The podiums are set up. But hit the like, subscribe if you guys enjoy the convo.
Would he also push the House to finally pass DC's budget so that it has access to all that money that it does need for policing, for schools, and for other services here in the city?
Yes, and as you know, he has done that. He put out a statement calling on the House to take up the Senate's legislation, and he stands by that position.
Let me take you back to something from last month. You guys announced the president was diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency after his legs were seen swelling. How's he being treated for that? And while you were upfront about those health issues, curious if the White House would be willing to let us speak with his physician directly about those health issues. I know there were a lot of concerns.
Wait, what other city is not me? Oh, welcome. Not me. I think you've been here before, right? I think it's been a while. If not, though, welcome. But what other cities? Because I've heard of DC, but you said there's 5 U.S. cities.
With the last White House not making the physician available, would the physician be available in this case?
I don't want to make that commitment on behalf of the physician, but it's certainly something we can look into and explore out of the effort of transparency, because unlike the previous White House, there is nothing to hide. You guys see this president working around the clock, literally 24/7, all of the time, and I will be happy to look into that request.
Can we at least get an update on how he's being treated for the swelling legs and for the hands and the other issues?
Look, you see the president.
What's the weather in Alaska?
He's working, he's continuing. There have been no adjustments made to his lifestyle.
Hey, Caroline, I have 2 questions. One on DC, but on the Putin meeting on Friday, does
You said New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico? All right, add that to the list.
a plan to meet with Putin one-on-one?
Yes, that's part of the plan. And as for the other mechanics and logistics, I will let our team speak to that when they're ironed out.
And on what's happening in DC with the federal takeover, what we've heard from the mayor.
No, you can't use the explanation point, Tony. You just say Uranus. You just say Uranus. No explanation point needed. That one was by design, not to be used with an explanation point.
And the police chief is that their understanding is there has been no change in the leadership structure. In the White House's view, who is in charge of the MPD right now?
If you read the executive order, it will tell you. The leadership structure is as follows. We plan to work with the Metropolitan Police.
You're not going to do it, Tony?
The chain of command is as such.
I'm so childish.
The United States, the Attorney General of the United States, our DEA Administrator, Terry Cole, who is now serving ahead of the Chief of the Metropolitan Police Department. And they will be working together.
It's so childish. I'm sorry. It cracks me up, though.
As you heard,
Nightbot is the best.
Yesterday is in charge of the Metropolitan Police Department, and he's working with the chief to ensure that law enforcement officers are allowed to do their jobs in this city.
Caroline?
Joey.
Yeah, thanks, Caroline. I know you said earlier the hope is to maintain monthly job reports, but the president's new nominee for BLS Commissioner E.J. Antoni recently told Fox Business that the BLS should suspend issuing monthly job reports and only issue quarterly reports until the jobs data methodology is corrected. So does the president disagree with that assessment that his nominee is said there, or suspending these monthly job reports a real option?
I think he floated the idea of possibly suspending until they can get the data and the methodology in order. And this president wants to ensure that the BLS, again, is putting out accurate and honest data that the American people can trust. Since you brought up the new commissioner, he holds a master's and doctor's degree in economics from Northern Illinois University. He's the chief economist in the Heritage Foundation's Center for the Federal Budget. And in addition to his work at Heritage, he has multiple other roles. He's been widely renowned for his work on economic issues. He's been called before Congress to testify as an economic expert. So he's a qualified individual, and the president trusts him to lead this important department.
I get that, Tony. I need to make more for Nightbot, but I'd be forgetting them too. Like if you say Jesus, I think Nightbot says amen. If you say Uranus, he says, or they say like no Uranus. And one night I was just bored and I was just programming in like random stuff and just having way too much fun. It's so silly.
Sure, go ahead.
Given that the administration now has jurisdiction over
It's so dumb.
does that mean like personnel changes, hiring, firing? Can we expect leadership changes internally in the Metropolitan Police
Well,
Department?
I just walked through what the leadership structure looks like right now.
Within the uniformed police department, right? I mean, does that mean that the Attorney General, others kind of have the ability to make those...
Johnny Five, welcome to the pandemonium. I hope you're having a good day.
Personnel decisions?
I would imagine it means they have the ability. As for any changes, I'm not tracking any. Again, we look forward to working alongside the Metropolitan Police Department.
Cargo!
We did that last night successfully, and we hope we can do that for the next 29 nights. Go ahead. Yes.
So a lot of reports that ICE agents detained a 15-year-old student with disabilities outside an LA high school, even leaving bullets on the sidewalk. How does the Trump administration plan to ensure parents that their children...
Wait, Johnny Five, was that a B-52? Hey, very good, very good. I heard the plane fly overhead, and I was like, was that a Russian plane or an American plane? I don't have an ear for planes, so I can't like hear it and be like, oh, it's a B-52. But I heard it, and I was like, it felt aggressive. It felt like somebody was showing like, hey, we got air support. We're above you. I don't know if it was Trump or Putin.
...and return to school without fear of being wrongfully detained or endangered by...
If someone says, I am gay, can I teach... Can you teach Nightbot to say maybe? Yes. Okay, I'll figure out how to work that in. If they call you it, or if they just say it in general. And that's the question. Because I'll just figure out how to work it in.
...by federal agents.
Where'd you see that?
I think I know how to do it. I got you.
Well, I'll have to look into the veracity of that report. I read the LA Times almost every single day, and they are...
Yeah, it was scary. I just heard it fly over in the video, and I can feel like my hair stand up. I'm like, man, if you were standing out there when that thing went over, whoo!
For misleading the public. I'm sure there's more to that story than the way that you just characterized it. This administration wants to ensure that all school children across the country in every city from Los Angeles to DC can go to school safely. And that's part of this administration's effort to federalize the National Guard in Washington, to ensure that ICE is removing child predators. I just read you a list of a handful, just a handful, of the hundreds of thousands of child predators that this administration is removing off of the streets of Los Angeles.
I'm sorry, guys. This popped up in my feed, and, they're talking about child predators and stuff, and I think we just need to lighten the mood. Some of you will like it, some of you might hate it, but it seems amusing to me, so it's AI. AI is wild. Anyway, so just to lighten the mood a little bit, guys. It doesn't have to be so serious. All right, back to what she's talking about again.
Hundreds of thousands of child predators that
Jesus fucking Christ.
This administration is moving off of the streets of Los Angeles and every other community across this country, because we want to ensure this is a country where American school children can be safe, where they can prosper, and where they are not threatened by violent criminals, whether they are illegal or whether they are American citizen homegrown criminals, as this president calls them. So I will gladly go check on.
He said, yeah, I know it was a B-52 bomber, plus I want to say 6 F-35 Lightning.
On that report, and I'll get you the facts. Thank you, everyone.
Nothing amusing about it. Release the files and be done with it. Guys, you gotta, you just, sometimes it can't be so serious all the time, guys. All right. For some of the AI stuff, I think the craziest AI one I saw was like the him and Elon with the feet. That was uncomfortable and uncanny. But that stuff is, that AI is so crazy now. So, oh my God. Let me look up when this thing actually starts. Or I got some other stuff I guess we could get into in between. But I don't know why I didn't take this out earlier. I guess in the meantime, bear with me here. I don't want you guys to hear the silence in my room. It's quite loud. That's too much. All right. Chill out for a second, guys. Let's chill out. Hold up. We're in space, guys. Welcome to the Black Hole Radio. If you like the vibe, subscribe. Hit the like. It helps. Every time you like it, I see it go up, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Thank you. I'm just trying to see what time it actually starts, if they put that out or not. The meeting, which began approximately 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is expected to last several hours, with initial estimates ranging roughly 4 hours. Oh, so we still got probably another hour. Though the Kremlin on Friday signaled the talks could last up to 7 hours. Okay, well, I don't know if we're going to wait around 7 hours, guys. But I do have some other stuff for us to check out, so... Oh, I agree with you, Libra. I agree with you. Clintons are fighting the Epstein subpoena. Oh, were they subpoenaed? I saw something in some feed about that. Oh, B2, B52, okay. Y'all talk about planes. Yo, the AC-130 is horrifying to me. That, to me, is scary as just anything. It's that, and then, what's that one plane? Oh, it's got this, oh my gosh. It's got like a, what do they say? It was a gun that they built a plane around, basically. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not gonna do the sound right, but it's got a machine gun and it's like, I'm not gonna do the sound right. You guys know the sound I'm talking about. A warthog? Is it a warthog? Okay, I need to look this up. A10. Oh, I think it was the A10. I was watching something on this like the other day. Yeah, I think it was the A10. I just want to hear the sound. Yep, that one. That one. I was like reading something about it, and it was like, if you heard it, basically, if you heard it, that means you weren't the target. It was like a horrifying thing to hear, but if you heard it, you weren't the target. If you didn't hear it, it's because it already hit you when you were dead. Horrifying. Bro, that's crazy. Anyway. That's what's wrong with your society. You literally worship machines of death. They make you excited, don't you? And you wonder why everything is coming for you now. Or, well, yeah. No, I mean, it's a modern human engineering. Let's be honest, guys. War is human, okay? Sorry to say it. Point to a place in history where we haven't killed each other, okay? It sucks that a lot of our inventions come from war, or come from like us trying to best the other people, but sometimes that's where our inventions come from. So I could like look at something and be like, it's just a cool piece of machinery. And it has like this badass sort of, what's the word? Just this energy to it. This like guttural or just, oh, what is it? What is the word? Oh my gosh. I don't know, but I wouldn't say I worship a machine of death. It's just like, it's still cool. I mean, it's just like, holy shit, that's like crazy. You could have a plane in the sky that you could barely see, and it could hit you with one round and like level a building or something. Like, that's insanity to me. That's what pushed him out of engineering. Okay, no, I can see that though. I mean, imagine you're over there thinking you're changing the world, and it turns out all your research went into finding the best way to destroy somebody. It is kind of sad. I mean, it's, you know, it's kind of messed up. .30mm Avenger Gatling is the gun that the Warthog has in its nose. Yeah, most innovations are wartime pushed. Yeah, you get a lot of stuff from it. It's sad, but it's like, when there's a war, lots of money gets put into things. Well, unfortunately, war is it's like the end game, right? It's like if you have a disagreement with somebody, you guys can sit down and talk. If talking doesn't work, the only thing left on the table is, well, you guys agree to disagree and separate and walk away, or we destroy each other. I mean, if negotiations break down, the only other thing you have is pretty much violence or leave them alone. But if you're at the negotiating table already, it's probably hard to leave each other alone in the first place. Yes, they built the plane around the gun because it's so huge. That's what like got my mind. I'm like, that's crazy. Imagine that somebody was just sitting there and they're like, what if we built a plane around a gun? Because they're like, we want this in the sky. And they're like, we don't have a plane that could carry that. And they're like, okay, that sounds like a challenge. Anyway, the engineering aspect of it is pretty cool. Y'all are crazy. What's going on, John Public? Yeah, I was reading stories about it, Buzz Golf, and I would like that to be on my side. If I'm out there dealing with that stuff and I hear that in the sky, I'm hoping it's on my team. So... All right, Kablooey. Yeah, we keep a wide range of people in here. I try to keep it balanced. I like the chaos. So we got the lefties, we got the righties, we got the moderates and everything. And it's just trying to organize the chaos, that's all. So we don't go unhinged too much in one direction. I don't want an echo chamber. That is the last thing I want here. But I appreciate you for hanging out and chit-chatting, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe, all the good stuff. I don't say that enough, people tell me. Yeah, we now have like artillery in the sky, yeah. War is an easier path to problem solving. It's just an easy way out when all you got to do is turn your issue to mist. Yeah, that's assuming your issue doesn't also have the capability to turn you into mist. Because then you guys race to nuclear weapons and then you're in a stalemate. And that's pretty much where we are right now. Are we about to get started over here? Oh, sorry, I don't have the video on the screen. Where is the video? I think it's this one. Nope, it's not that one. All right, we might have something going on. Because they're not super specific about when it starts. So the time's not really out there. And I wanted to take a quick 2-second break and just grab something to drink. Yeah, hydration, that's what I need. I'll be so dehydrated, my lips are about to stick together, and I won't be able to talk. That's crazy. Have you guys seen the flyovers of a plane? Like they'll fly super low like a jet, and just like the wind stream or whatever, it just seems like it's blowing everything away on the ground. Like just flying over somebody could be devastating. It's just freaky. I don't know if it's like, but I don't know how fast the winds are moving, like if it is lethal or whatever, but it seems extremely scary. The A-10, I think you're saying the number 1 plane. the A10, followed by the AC-130. I'm sorry, that thing is just freaky to me. Due to its ability to deliver devastating firepower for long periods of time in a war zone, both are built to support the ground troops. What's going on, Outlaws? Welcome back. Welcome back. Dude, where is Kami? I need to message him. I think he's probably asleep. Yeah, even if it's on your team, I bet it is terrifying. You just hope they don't miss. Johnny says that's because America is a mixture of left, right, and center, and we all should be talking when sides stop communicated is when the bullets start flying. I agree. I just spoke about this earlier. I don't think demonizing people you have disagreements with is the best way to go. Try to assume, at the very least, ignorance before malicious or malice. I mean, some people, yeah, they're probably evil. But most people probably aren't super evil, and you guys might just disagree on something. You probably agree on like the core belief, but how to get there you disagree on. So, you know. But once you shut down conversation and say, oh, they're a part of the red team or they're a part of the blue team, don't talk to them. Yeah, well, you're just asking for it at that point. It's just a ticking time bomb. Yeah, no, it was saying up to 7 hours. Oh, PSA, I guess. Well, it doesn't matter. Well, I mean, whatever. A lot of y'all actually use voice to text. And what ends up happening with voice to text is you're talking and it pauses the video. Over time of you doing so many comments, you guys actually end up further back in the live. So sometimes I feel like you're responding to things I said like 5 minutes ago and stuff. It's fine and stuff. It's just something I noticed. Somebody told me that the voice to text pauses it. Because I was wondering why people kept desyncing with the stream. I think a little button that I put up on the screen every now and then that says, yo, sync up, sync up. Not lost. Thump, thump, clap. Thump, 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 clap. Wait, is it 3 or 4 thumbs? 4 thumbs. Thump, thump, clap. Thump, 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 clap. No. I think it's 3 thumbs. It'd be thump, thump, clap. Thump, 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 clap. I don't know. Oh yeah, sonic booms. And actually, it could give you concussions and bust out windows and destroy property. We all disagree equally. Profits. Really, John? I hear you. I don't think having social media in and of itself means you're fake. However, you know, I grew up, I got a flip phone. I eventually got a slide phone and eventually got a smartphone. social media was cool. It was very new at the time. I mean, I was a little too young for the MySpace age, so I was like the Facebook age. I don't use them anymore because I realized I have no reason to. Why am I showing? I just, like, if I'm doing something like this, you know, like where I'm putting out content and stuff, it makes sense. But otherwise, I don't really need people, like random people, to see what I'm up to and stuff. It's just kind of narcissistic. You know, I started to ask myself, why are we taking pictures of our food at the restaurant? Who gives a fuck what I'm eating at this restaurant? It's just a way to try to flex to other people and show them what I'm doing and show that it's just weird. I started questioning why I posted the things I posted, and I just stopped using it altogether. I pretty much am on YouTube. I use X for like this stuff and whatnot, but if I'm not like streaming or something, I'm not really doing like the social stuff. But to each their own. Like, I think there's a lot of great things that have come out of it. His ears are burning. Yeah, I know. I messaged him. He said, he hit me up earlier and said he'll probably join later. So I just hit him with another message, just letting him know, like, hey, we're still here. But his ears better be burning. Yeah, exactly. News feeds. Basically aggregators of information at this point. I mean, that's how I use it. Sage. I think there's probably always going to be infighting amongst people. At least there are lifetime. So are we starting, guys? I think maybe. All right, hold up. Let's kill the music. I didn't even get my damn drink. What the hell? That's not me, guys. It's on their end. We are... Of course, when I pause the music. Okay, there we go. Weird, it rewinded, guys. Weird. Was this all staged? I'm just kidding. Let me stop. Oh, don't get me started on aliens. Oh, I haven't done too many UAP streams, but it's a big, I don't know, guilty pleasure or pleasure of mine. I'm into the UAP topic, UFO topic. Oh, I just like rabbit holes. Conspiracies. But that one has a special place in my heart. I don't know what's going on with their feed. They set up for 6 hours. I mean, all right, let me stop.
Everything at the same time. On your headsets, it should be 00 floor, 01 should be English, and 02 should be Russian on your headsets. So again, just doing a couple last minute checks, making sure everything is going through as it should. Thank you.
I'll do it just a straight UAP stream. I did one the other day or a week or two ago on the hearings from a year or two ago. I'm hoping we have some more hearings this fall. But I'll probably do like a whole deep dive. I need to do some more Y-files too. I just don't know how they feel about people reacting to their content. There's just so much production and work put into that. I just feel like iffy about even reacting to it. I don't know if I could do it justice.
Кремлевский пул, у вас все хорошо, все нормально? Камеры, покажите, пожалуйста, большой палец, что все нормально. Все, спасибо большое.
Alien Earth. Have I seen that one? No. When would this come out? Oh, it's not out yet? Oh, next episode. Okay, it's a show. Oh, it's Alien. Okay. Yeah, the Y-Files is amazing. Anybody that's into just either a conspiracy or just like weird stories and stuff like that, check out Y-Files. They have great production. They take you through the conspiracy or the story as people know the story, and then they break down the facts of the matter and whether it's bullshit or not. Oh my gosh, I forget the guy's name, but he's great. He's great. He's been on the Joe Rogan podcast. And I know Hecklefish on the show. I can't remember the host's name. Oh, I feel bad. You guys should definitely check out the Y-Files, though. Okay, it came out this week. Yeah, okay. It looks fresh. So, there's like a million streaming services, and it's just too rich for my blood. I literally just got Paramount the other day because of South Park, and I want to cancel that and this is what they do. They'll give you one episode or one season of a show on this one, but then they'll put the other season on another one. Before you know it, you have like 10 subscriptions. It's like, dude, what the hell? Everybody wants you to pay a subscription for everything. At this point, I'd rather just buy it. Just let me just buy something. Let me buy it and own it and hold it and keep it. Man, I couldn't even use my Xbox. My internet was down. I thought to myself, okay, let me throw a movie in my Xbox. Let me play a single player game. It turns out I didn't set my Xbox to be the home Xbox. So I'm not allowed to access any of my downloaded content. You will own nothing and you will be happy. In Alien Earth, countries don't exist. They're owned by trillionaires. Oh, okay, got you. I mean, that makes sense. It's like Endgame. Not even late stage. It's like Endgame, free market capitalism or whatever. Like, no regulations. There's a video game where corporations own planets. And if you lived on this planet, you're basically owned by the corporation. I can't remember what it's called. $25 to rent. Fuck these people. My apologies. $25 to rent a movie. I don't even care. I just, even if I had a bunch of money, no, on principle. It's $25. I might as well go to the damn movie theater. It's not Borderlands. Damn it. It's like Outer Space or Outer Worlds. I think it's called Outer Worlds. And corporations own planets, and yeah, you're basically if you're a company, you're literally a company man. I mean, you are owned by the corporation. Yeah, okay, I'll talk about Borderlands. I'm talking about Outer Worlds. Hold up. Outer World. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, this game. One sec, guys. Technical difficulties. All right, there we go. Can you see that? The Outer Worlds is a 2019 action role-playing game developed set in an alternate future. The game takes place in Halcyon, a distant star system colonized by mega corporations. Bam. Anyway, beside the point. Take Two. Oh, yeah, okay, sorry, duh. I don't know why, I just read the message weird. Yes, Buzz Golf. Yeah, so there's UFOs, which are now called UAPs. There's, what do they call them? USPs, I think. Anomalous submerged phenomena or something like that. But there's a classification for the stuff we see in the sky, and there's a classification for the stuff we see in water. And they have seen, there's been reports of them tracking things in the water. And the UAPs that they track in the sky going into the water or coming out of the water. So take it with a grain of salt, but there you go. So John, the Amish, I used to live in like an Amish community. I wasn't a part of the community, but like all my neighbors were Amish. I played basketball with them, hung out with them, went to school with them until like 6th grade. They stopped going to school between like 6th and 8th grade. But Amish are good people. I've never had an issue with the Amish. Yo. My mic's out of sync. Give me a sec. All right. Hopefully that. Yup. Testing. Yep, that should be better. Oh man, you guys are getting me going. I feel like if I do UAP stuff, I feel like it's shadow banned on YouTube. Like there's some things, if I put them in the title, you get no viewers, right? So you gotta have to think about that stuff. And a lot of times my UAP stuff, like one of my first videos on my channel when I started making videos was on UAPs. It was on the Jersey drone situation, like the drones that were being seen around the United States. And I mean, the channel was brand new, so that's probably why they get views. But I just felt like, man, why are these not getting views? But then this one other video I posted about something completely different got views. I mean, it could be the algorithm suppressing it, or it could just be people don't give a fuck. But sometimes I feel as though it's suppressed. You said autism is not in the Amish community or essentially non-existent. And you think that's because they grow their own food? Possibly. They have to be up in 4 hours. They're going to bed already. Yeah, transmedium, exactly. That's why they're not called unidentified flying objects anymore. That's why they're calling them UAPs, anomalous aerial phenomena, is because they think they could be transdimensional. They, instead of moving through space, or they're not moving through the air, they're moving through space, but whatever. Yeah, some people think they're from this Earth. Some say from somewhere else. Some say it's humans from a different time. I don't know. There's so many hypotheses. I try to stick to the facts. For decades, we have been seeing the same objects. They've been reported by everything from the farmer to the intelligence agent to the Navy pilot. They have been reported by Israeli defense ministers, Canadian defense minister, I believe. Our own, is it Sean? No, not Sean Kirkpatrick. He ran Arrow, I believe. Who am I thinking of? Oh, I think he was like a spokesperson for DOD under Biden. I can't think of his name. You know what? We got time. Hold up. Give me a sec. Yeah, this one.
Does the president believe in the existence of UFOs?
The question hasn't come up in our back and forth, but there is no indication of aliens or extraterrestrial activity.
We don't know. We don't have the answers about what these phenomena are. What we believe is that there are unexplained aerial phenomena that have been cited and reported by pilots, Navy and Air Force, that these phenomena have, in some cases, had an impact on our training ranges, on our pilots' ability to fly, train, operate, and stay ready.
Does the president believe?
So I made this short just to show the change in the conversation coming from the White House over the years. We went from, this is a joke that we're laughing at, to there's something there, we don't know what it is. we're going to freak out over some balloons from China. That's the end of the world. We got to shoot them down and freak out. But these things that are affecting our trading ranges and just doing whatever the fuck they want, don't worry about it. We have no clue what they are. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. Now I got to fix it. Oh, no, actually, it's good. Make it bigger for y'all. All right, there we go. Something like that. Let's go out and hide behind. Isn't that kind of the idea of the Dunning-Kruger effect? Right? Like, as you get to know something more, like at first you're at Mount Stupid because you know a little bit and you think you know a lot. But then as you learn a little bit more, you're like, oh, I actually don't know anything about this. Like, there's a long way to go. And it's like the more things you learn, the more unknowns that you're aware of, right? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I keep pulling this up thinking they're going to start talking and then they don't. Yeah, there's a bunch of different stories, you know, whether you want to go back to the pyramids, certain miracles that have been recorded in history or events. You could point to that stuff. I mean, just in my lifetime in terms of technology, I feel like our technology has increased exponentially. Like, nobody had cell phones when I was a kid. I remember when my mom or my parents got like their first flip phone. And then by the time I was not even done with high school, you know, I had like a smartphone probably, yeah. And now everybody, I mean, homeless people have two phones. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has a phone. You could go to Walmart and get like a phone for $30, right? So it's crazy how accessible it became. And this is my thought with automation and robots, like the Tesla bots or whatever. I think that those are going to come in the blink of an eye. Like, one day we're not going to have them, and it's going to feel like the next day everybody has them. That's my hypothesis. That's my prediction. Like 5 years, robots walking around, robots being in people's houses, leasing robots is going to be super, super normal. When the Patterson report came out in the 50s, and they realized there was a real phenomenon going on. Sorry. Oh yeah, the think tank decided that ridicule and shaming was the best way to deal with the public. And they did a really, really good job. Like, some people will roll their eyes at this, especially, it sucks because whenever I talk about, I don't want to say I avoid the subject, but I feel like when you start talking about UFOs, UAPs, a lot of people are just like, I don't really want to hear this shit. And like, if you want to go even further down the rabbit hole, guys, look into crop circles. Look into the history of crop. I know, crop circles. What are you talking about, dude? You're crazy. It's an interesting history. That's all I'm going to say. Are they man-made? Are they fake? Are they this? Are they that? I'm not going to say one way or the other. But just look into them. And I think there's more to it than what we're being told. It's very interesting to me. There was a, well, hold up. Before I go on a rant. I don't know, Outlaws. Oh, okay, hold up. I don't know if we have time for the rant. That's the thing. They built canals to move the stones and filled them in. Oh, we're talking about the pyramids. Okay, we're talking about, was it Giza or like one of those pyramids? Aren't those blocks like 40,000 pounds each? Not to say it's impossible. Humans do a lot of cool things, you know. Oh, here we go. There was no chance the pyramids were built by Egyptians. The weight of those stones would have caused the logs that's supposedly used to transport them to break or something, right? If we transport stone on similar way, it would destroy the roads. Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, if you get like a really big ass tree, but even just moving the log itself would be like fucking hard, dude. I wouldn't say being gay is cool. I'd say it's just a thing. It's like me having long hair. I just have long hair. You know, neither here nor there. You know what I mean? The quarry is 500 miles away, dude, and some of them were millions of pounds. I don't know about millions. Were they millions? I know they were a lot. I know they weighed a lot. Look, it's crazy. And then the way they cut them, and then the people are like, well, slave labor. But then apparently it's done so well that some people argue that no, it was actually skilled craftsmen that did this, and this was a work of love and all that, so it wasn't slaves. So I don't know. Samson. If the Sphinx is older than the pyramids, then who carved the Sphinx? Exactly, because of the water erosion around the Sphinx. It might date back thousands of years prior, meaning the Egyptians came along, messed with its face, and then claimed the pyramids as their own. Which, I mean, look, I understand why Egypt is so protective of the pyramids. It is a big, I think tourism makes up, I don't want to say 20% of their GDP. We'll say 10%. I'll cut it in half. But I want to say it's like 5. I want to say it's 5 to 10%. I just looked this up. Hold up. Egypt's tourism. Before I spread fake news. I mean, I'm sitting right in front of the computer. I might as well just look this shit up. Tourism and GDP. So Egypt's tourism sector contributed 8.1% to the country's GDP, generating $1.4 trillion, or sorry, 32.2 billion of US American dollars. 1.4 trillion EGP, so I guess their currency. So I understand why they're so protective of it. It's like they want to have the claim that they built it. And even if they didn't build it, though, people are still going to come and look at it. You can still charge people to come and look at it. But, yeah, either way. I guess it's finders keepers. Who cares? Yeah, laborers. Wait, suspiciously specific. I gotta catch up. 1,200 tons. Holy shit. It's just hard to even like wrap your head around moving stuff like this. Long Bong. Hey, Long Bong. Welcome back. I didn't see you there. The pyramids were already ancient when Jesus was walking around. 25 to 80 tons. Yeah, the face doesn't match the body by proportion. They could build an exact pyramid. No, from what I understand, that's not the original head. The head was changed, carved down or something at some point in time. I think that's regular common knowledge. I could be wrong. Check me if I'm wrong. I thought it wasn't the original face. I could be wrong. I don't know. Yeah, there was water and greenery back then. When the Sphinx was built, it wasn't a desert like it is today. Yeah, it was not the original head. Exactly. That's okay. So is that just kind of contested? Maybe that's not proven yet. Listen, John, the levitation thing, look, I've fallen down the rabbit hole a bit. I want to believe. Trust me, I want to believe a lot of stuff. And look, yes, if you have resonating frequencies of sounds, you can move things. Trust, I know. How much fucking sound or frequency, like what energy source are you using? Even if you're levitating them, you still need to like have the energy in order to move that many tons with the device you're using, right? Like we could shape water or shape sand with sound. We could do that. We could make shapes with sound. How much energy do you need to move 1,200 tons? You should buy Magical Egypt. Wait, what? But hey, if you guys figure out the mystery of levitation, I'm with it. Trust me. I want this stuff to be real. I just be banging my head against the wall when I'm like going down these rabbit holes, because it's like, I don't know, I just feel like I read shit, I'm like, bullshit, 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 maybe, bullshit, bullshit. And now with AI and everything, it's like, this is so much bullshit, man. Internet's dead. Nobody's real. We're all bots. I mean, what about you? What do you guys think about it being an energy source? Everybody says it was an energy source. Not everybody. A lot of people will say it was an energy source. The other pyramids around the world all linked together and it was free energy or something like that. Oh, Magical Egypt is a documentary series. Okay, got you. Lost technology. Who knows how many times we have started up. Exactly. Exactly. And see, this is one of my problems. Because how far have we dug in the earth? Right? What we're told is like, okay, we have the mantle and we have like tectonic plates moving around, right? And over time, you know, they kind of get eaten up. You know, they go back into the mantle, they get all mixed up, and they come back out, you know, lava, and we get new land and stuff, right? There could have been a whole civilization here. We could be off by like 1 million years, and they could have come and gone, and the Earth could have already like completely swallowed everything on the planet already 1 time or 2 times. And maybe the pyramids were like the only thing left of like this ancient civilization. Or like there's a handful of like cities and, you know, ancient sites and stuff that have remained. The drills in some of the stones is 100 times more per revolution than we could achieve today with diamond drills. There's not a chance they were able to do that with the metals they had. I haven't heard about the holes, like the precision and all that. They just had the original Black Sabbath. They just cranked it. They were sliding stones like ice. What don't you believe? Man, bro, I got that Google video. We might have to make some videos on that. Ancient Egyptians, Black Sabbath, building pyramids. Let's go. Honestly, I might waste one of my generations just for that. Let's see. Let me. Yeah, we're gonna make a video. Wait, what? Why can't I make a video? Hold up. Yeah, video. All right, cool. Ancient Egyptians using the power of levitation from the energy generated. Oh, shit. Oh, my God, guys. Oh, my gosh. I just hit inspect element. I think I'm hacking the system. Generated by the sound of Black Sabbath cranked to 11. To build the pyramids. To build the pyramids. All right, cool. The power of levitation from the energy generated from the sound of Black Sabbath cranked to 11 to build pyramids. All right. A seed of ancient Egyptians. Okay, there we go. Boom, it's generating, guys. I get 3 generations a day. I think for more, it costs $250 a month. You guys need to like and subscribe. Like and subscribe more, and eventually we will get ourselves to that subscription. But right now, we're not papered like that, guys. We're not papered like that. I am Iron Man. Wait, if you want to blow your mind, check out those bases that are so accurate we can't make them with the most sophisticated CNC machines today. Really? That's hard to believe, like, because I know there's like 0 tolerance machining, right? So it's hard for me to believe that our 0 tolerance machining of today is not at the level of what they were doing. Sounds pretty keen. I never know. I really need to work on like prompt writing or something, or learn. Oh my god. Okay, guys, hold up. It generated something. Let's see. Let's see. I don't even care if I get claimed. Yo, guys. I'm sorry. I'm tripping. This is awesome. This is awesome. This is much better than I thought it would turn out. You guys ready? This is how the ancient Egyptians built the pyramids. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Yo! Yes! Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Bro, if that's how they did it, that's amazing. One more time. Accurate. This, you're gonna see this on the History Channel. All right, we're done. Oh, Lord. That's so silly. Lordy. I'll have to post that somewhere. No, I think I'm gonna put that as a short. I think I'm gonna post that as a short. And you guys could spread that and be like, you know, this is one of the theories on how the pyramids were made. You don't have to even explain it. Just send them the video. Yeah, Mayan pyramids that amplify your voice. Yeah, the people that were building these cities and whatnot seemed to care a lot about acoustics. Or maybe it just so happens that they built very acoustic resonating places or whatever. I don't think they did that on accident. Mole people. Are we going? What is this? Hollow Earth? Oh shit! Did I pause this? Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. We're over here watching the Egyptians build pyramids with Black Sabbath. About to miss Putin and Trump. All right, hold up. Did I pause the music or something? I got way too excited over that. Oh my gosh. I'm actually really happy with that video generation because sometimes it'll just generate like, nah. Oh my gosh, actually, since we are just kind of, hold up. Like when I should be live hanging out with y'all, I'm actually sitting on with like AI stuff, just being really stupid when I should be live. So this one, hold up, this is so funny. It just blows my mind like how powerful these tools are. I gave it a picture of myself and I was like, yo, basically like give me like a sword and I'm like fighting an army or something, right? And I just gave it a picture of myself. Mind you, this is from a picture, which I just think is so flippin' cool. So I gave it a picture. It's like, sure, is it like corny and all that? Yeah, but that's where we are today. In 10 years, you're gonna be able to like type a prompt in and have a full fucking movie, a full movie. Mind you, I did not take a sword out in my room. This is from a static picture. It was able to like do this. That is so flippin' cool. That is so flippin' cool. Well, somebody says, how long after meeting you do you think Putin strikes again? Didn't he already strike pretty hard before the meeting? I don't know. Hopefully they could actually find themselves to an agreement. I could see why you would attack harder before peace talks, just so you could have more leverage, but Hopefully they actually come to peace. That would be kind of nice. Some kind of power plant. It could be some kind of power that we have no clue it exists. I think magnetism is something we haven't scratched the surface of. Yeah, I have this sneaking suspicion that there is something that we're missing, that our tools or something just don't pick up on, that is out there, some sort of field or something that we can kind of tap into. Maybe wishful thinking, maybe. But maybe it was tapping into that. Some people say the composition of the pyramids would point to the fact that it could have been a battery or an energy source. I'm just not educated enough in the composition and the, like, I guess, chemistry or physics or whatever that goes into it at this point, so to really speak on it. Hey, yo! All right, Bayu. I appreciate you. I need to say it more often, guys. If you like hanging out, hit the sub button. All right? Road to 1 million, guys. Road to 1 million. We're only 997,000 away, okay? So we're almost there. And liking helps. Liking helps. Without a magnetic field, solar radiation would destroy us, but yet we haven't figured a way to harness the core power produces magnetism. I fear that sometimes. If we start messing with the magnetic field, or just if you're taking energy out of something, like let's say geothermal, right? Let's say we just switch to geothermal. We just get all of our energy somehow from the heat coming from the core. Could you extract enough heat to actually fuck things up? We assume if a system is big enough that we could just keep extracting from it and not fuck anything up. But some systems are, I wonder how fragile they are. But the Earth is big. The Earth is big, so I don't know. Is somebody in my house? Yo! Oh, hey! How long you been here? Oh, okay. Okay, I'm live. Yeah. I'm over here talking about aliens and shit, though. I thought I was hearing stuff, and I'm like, what the hell? Is there like somebody in the house? You didn't go back.
No. Nice, healthy food.
Thank you.
But unhealthy drink.
Yes. All right. Let me do. Guys, hold up. Yes. We got salmon, cucumber. I think that's a poached egg, if I'm not mistaken. Some noodles, guys. This is amazing. I guess I can stay longer. Girlfriend, sister, whatever. Same thing. I'm just kidding. I only have brothers, no sisters. I'm a middle child. Oh, shit, guys, they're on the screen. I didn't even notice. Oh, perfect. I got food and everything. Bro. How long have they been live? Oh, my God. How long have we been sitting here waiting for this bullshit? Bro, oh my God. Yes, this is ridiculous. All right, we're back. We're here. Let's lock in.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, our negotiations.
Oh, Bo. Bo, right? Got you.
We have very thorough negotiations that were quite useful. I would like to thank once again my American counterpart for the proposal to travel out here to Alaska. It only makes sense that we've met here because our countries, though separated by the oceans, are close neighbors. So when we've met, when I came out of the plane and I've said, "Good afternoon, dear neighbor. Very good to see you. In good health
The silver bullet.
and to see you alive." I think that is very neighborly.
Coors Light, really?
I think that's some kind words that we can say to each other. We're separated by the Strait of Bering, though there are 2 islands only between the Russian island and the U.S. island.
Thank you, John, for letting me know.
It's also important that Alaska has to do with our common heritage, common history between Russia and the...
Так здесь и по сей день сохраняется огромное культурное наследие эпохи Русской Америки. Православные храмы, множество, более 700 географических названий, имеющих русское происхождение.
I really don't have to read these subtitles out to you, so hopefully the translator comes back. Can I make the subtitles bigger? Damn.
В ходе Второй мировой войны именно на Аляске начиналась легендарная авиамагистраль для поставок боевых самолетов и другой техники по договору Ленд-Лиза. Это был опасный, сложный маршрут над громадными ледяными...
Oh, my fault. Appreciate you. I don't know why I thought they'd be talking over him at the same time, translating.
Но летчики и специалисты двух стран делали все, чтобы приблизить победу. Рисковали, отдавали свои жизни для общей победы. Вот я сейчас только что был в городе Магадане, в России. Там памятник стоит российским и американским летчикам. И флаг на памятнике российский и американский. И я знаю, что и здесь тоже есть такой же памятник. На военном кладбище всего в нескольких километрах отсюда захоронены советские пилоты, погибшие при выполнении, признательные американским властям и гражданам за бережное отношение к их памяти. Это выглядит достойно и благородно. Мы всегда будем помнить другие исторические примеры, когда наши страны вместе громили общих врагов в духе боевого товарищества и союзничества, оказывали друг другу помощь и поддержку. Это наследие, уверен, будет нам помогать восстанавливать, выстраивать взаимовыгодные, равноправные связи уже на новом этапе, даже в самых непростых условиях. Как известно, российско-американские встречи в верхах...
Okay, Leslie, you sure they're going to translate after? Because I thought he was going to stop, they were going to translate a sentence, stop, translate a sentence. Are you telling me they memorized all this?
Не проводились более 4 лет. Это большой срок. Минувший период был очень непростым для двухсторонних отношений. И, скажем прямо, они скатились до
Let me resize this for y'all.
со времен Холодной войны. И это не идет на пользу ни нашим странам, да, и миру в целом. Очевидно, что рано или поздно нужно было выправлять ситуацию, переходить от конфронтации к диалогу. И в этом плане личная встреча глав двух государств реально назрела. Конечно, с условием серьезной и кропотливой подготовки. И такая работа в целом была проделана. У нас с президентом Трампом установились очень хорошие прямые контакты. Мы неоднократно и откровенно разговаривали по телефону. Нам, как известно, в Россию несколько раз приезжал спецпредставитель президента США господин Уитков. Регулярно контактировали наши помощники и главы внешнеполитических ведомств. Как вы хорошо знаете, понимаете, одним из центральных вопросов стала ситуация вокруг Украины. Мы видим стремление администрации США и лично президента Трампа содействовать разрешению украинского конфликта. Его желание вникнуть в суть и понять его истоки. Я не раз говорил, что для России события на Украине связаны с фундаментальными угрозами нашей национальной безопасности. Более того, мы всегда считали и считаем украинский народ, я говорил об этом неоднократно, братским, как это ни странно прозвучит в сегодняшних условиях. У нас одни корни, и все происходящее для нас – это трагедия и тяжелая боль. Поэтому наша страна искренне заинтересована в том, чтобы положить этому конец. Но при этом мы убеждены, что чтобы украинская урегулированная сила устойчивый и долгосрочный характер, должны быть устранены все первопричины кризиса, о которых говорили неоднократно. Обеспечен учет всех законных озабоченностей России, восстановлен справедливый баланс в сфере безопасности в Европе и в мире в целом. Я согласен с президентом Трампом, он сегодня говорил об этом, что, безусловно, должна быть обеспечена и безопасность Украины. Конечно, мы готовы над этим работать. Хочется надеяться, что достигнутое нами понимание позволит приблизиться к той цели и откроет
Yo, try before JT. I didn't realize you were Ukrainian.
дорогу к миру на Украине. Мы рассчитываем, что в Киеве и европейских столицах воспримут все это в конструктивном ключе и не станут чинить никаких препятствий. Не будут предпринимать попыток за счет провокаций или закулисных интриг сорвать намечающийся прогресс. Кстати, с приходом новой администрации США двусторонний товарооборот начал у нас повышаться. Все это носит пока такой символический характер, но
Alright.
я говорю о том, что у нас...
Y'all said they were translating afterward. I don't know if it's just this feed, but they had a translator on, and then she stopped talking and hasn't been back.
Очевидно, что российско-американское деловое
Let me see if there's another.
инвестиционное партнерство имеет огромный потенциал. России и США есть что предложить друг другу в торговле, энергетике, цифровой сфере, высоких технологиях и освоении космоса. Актуальным видится и взаимодействие в Арктике, возобновление межрегиональных контактов, в том числе между нашим Дальним Востоком и американским западным побережьем. В общем, нашим странам важно и нужно перелистнуть страницу и вернуться к сотрудничеству. Символично, что неподалеку на границе России и США, как я уже говорил, проходит так называемая линия перемены дат, где можно буквально перешагнуть из вчера в завтра. И надеюсь, что у нас так и получится в политической сфере. Я хотел бы поблагодарить господина Трампа за совместную работу, за доброжелательный и доверительный тон беседы. Главное, что с обеих сторон был настрой на результат. Мы видим, что президент США имеет четкое представление о том, чего хочет добиться, искренне заботится о процветании своей страны и в то же время проявляет понимание наличия в России своих национальных интересов. Рассчитывает, что сегодняшние договоренности станут опорной точкой не только для решения украинской проблемы, но и положат начало восстановлению деловых, прагматичных отношений между Россией и США. Ну и в завершение хотел бы вот что добавить. Я помню, что в 2022 году, во время последних контактов с прежней администрацией, я тогда...
Oh Lord, what are you guys doing in chat for crystal jaws to be going crazy?
Пытался убедить своего прежнего американского коллегу в том, что не нужно доводить до ситуации после наступления, которые могут наступить тяжелые последствия в виде боевых действий. И прямо сказал тогда, что это большая ошибка. И вот сегодня мы слышим, когда президент Трамп говорит, что если бы я был президентом, то войны бы не было. Я думаю, что так бы на самом деле и случилось. Я подтверждаю это, потому что в целом у нас с президентом Трампом наладился очень хороший деловой и доверительный контакт. И у меня есть все основания полагать, что, двигаясь по этому пути, мы можем дойти и чем быстрее, тем лучше, до завершения конфликта на Украине. Благодарю вас за внимание.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. That was very profound, and I will say that I believe we had a very productive meeting. There were many, many points that we agreed on, most of them, I would say, a couple of big ones that we haven't quite gotten there, but we've made some headway. So there's no deal until there's a deal. I will call up NATO in a little while. I will call up the various people that I think are appropriate, and I'll, of course, call up President Zelensky and tell him about today's meeting. It's ultimately up to them. They're going to have to agree with what Marco and Steve and some of the great people from the Trump administration who've come here, Scott and John Radcliffe, thank you very much. But we have some of our really great leaders. They've been doing a phenomenal job. We also have some tremendous Russian business representatives here, and I think everybody wants to deal with us. We've become the hottest country anywhere in the world in a very short period of time, and we look forward to that. We look forward to dealing. We're going to try and get this over with. We really made some great progress today. I've always had a fantastic relationship with President Putin, with Vladimir. We had many tough meetings.
Shell shock.
Interfered with by the Russia hoax. That made it a little bit tougher to deal with, but he understood it. I think he's probably seen things like that during the course of his career. He's seen it all, but we had to put up with the Russia hoax. He knew it was a hoax, and I knew it was a hoax, but what was done was very criminal. But it made it harder for us to deal as a country in terms of the business and all of the things that we'd like to have dealt with. But we'll have a good chance when this is over. So just to put it very quickly, I'm going to start making a few phone calls and tell them what happened. But we had an extremely productive meeting, and many points were agreed to. There are just a very few.
He sounds good.
Some are not that significant. One is probably the most significant, but we have a very good chance of getting there. We didn't get there, but we have a very good chance of getting there. I would like to thank President Putin and his entire team, who I know in many cases, other than that, whose faces I get to see all the time in the newspapers. You're almost as famous as the boss, but especially this one right over here. But we had some good meetings over the years, right? Good productive meetings over the years, and we hope to have that in the future. But let's do the most productive one right now. We're going to stop really 5, 6, 7,000, thousands of people a week from being killed, and President Putin wants to see that as much as I do. So, again, Mr. President, I'd like to thank you very much, and we'll speak to you very soon and probably see you again very soon. Thank you very much, Vladimir.
Next time in Moscow.
Oh, that's an interesting heat on that one. But I could see it possible.
I just feel like the hair stands up when you hear him say that.
Thank you very much, Vladimir.
Next time in Moscow.
Oh, that's a little heat on that one, but I could see it possibly happening. Thank you very much, Vladimir. And thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I knew that was it. Damn it. I knew they weren't going to take questions from the press. That would be insanity if they actually sat down and took questions from the press. Obviously never going to happen. I don't think Trump could pull what he did on Zelensky with J.D. Vance. I don't think he's going to be able to pull that on Putin. So, well, I mean, I don't want to say it's a nothing burger. I mean, he said they chit-chatted. It sounds nice. There's still stuff to negotiate. He's going to talk to Zelensky. There you go. I mean, not really much to be said. Damn it, Crystal. Type Uranus without the explanation point. That one does not need the explanation point. So you have to type it in without the punctuation. Yeah, it was very short for all the hype. I don't know really what I anticipated, right? They're not going to negotiate in front of the public. Oh, speaking of the Epstein list, what do we got? Did we forget about Epstein? 29% of you say yes. 71% of you say no. My Epstein polls used to be 90-10. 90% of people were like, let's get to the bottom of it. There's something there. 10% were like, get out of here. It's slowly gotten to about an 80-20. I've run this poll probably 12 times, 15 times, and slowly it's just the no's are starting to build up from 10% to 15%. Now we're sitting at about, well, shit, like 30%. There you go. There you go, Crystal. This is real. Yeah, no, I need to branch out more. I do like late night streams and stuff. I think that's like, if I did live at like 4 or 5 a.m., I get a lot of Europeans. Like, I get a lot more Europeans when I go on at that time, I've noticed. I don't know what time it is for y'all. Well, Ukraine is what? What is that? Like, you're 7 hours ahead of the East Coast? Or, yeah, like 6, 7 hours, right? No, you're probably like 7, 8 hours. What time is it where you are? If I may ask. You know, I'm just going to look it up. What time is it in Ukraine? 2:12 a.m. Okay. It's about 7:12 p.m. So y'all are, yeah, 7 hours ahead. Hey. I was right. So let's see. If I stream at midnight, then y'all, it's 7 a.m. for y'all. Okay. But a lot of times I'll stream at like 5 a.m. and I feel like I get a lot of Europeans. So it would be like in your part, what, like 1 o'clock? From like a 6 a.m. or something, or 5 a.m.? Hey, see, I was working overnight for the longest time. The last like year, basically, I've gotten a bit of a break from it. So that's why I would have late night streams, and my stream schedule was everywhere. You guys would either catch me right after I get off of work in the morning, and I'd stream and then fall asleep, or I would just sleep all day. So yeah, we're definitely on the same sleep schedule, my guy. So I'll be on tonight here for sure. Oh, you live in Ireland. Oh, that's so interesting. So you moved... Oh, before the war started. Okay. We do have some Irish in here, too, actually. Closeted Demon. Trump is trying to end the war. Biden funded it. What's going on, Texas Repo? Welcome back. Alex. Viva. Putin. With thumbs. Johnny 5. Try before JT. Well, I'm glad you were able to get out there before the danger. Yeah, of course. I'm done with Nightbot. Yeah, Nightbot is wild. Nightbot is wild. All right, Nightbot. If you want to help me out, here, boom, socials. If you guys want to follow me, or if you guys want to continue the... Oh, shit, I fucked it up. If you guys want to continue the conversation when we're not live, join the Discord. Although I'm working on having an offline chat. I sometimes do that at night, where it's like I might be on the microphone, I might not be on the camera, but I'm like in chat, and it's like just like an offline chat. But I need to be more consistent with it. It's gonna be like a lo-fi vibe or something, like just chill out. When I'm not like gaming, streaming, or like, you know, doing something. I've recently taken up drawing. Again. So shit, you guys might be seeing me at 3 a.m. just sitting here drawing a picture. Listening to tunes and chit-chatting. Oh, because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes the politics shit, it wears on you. It wears on you. We're doing this shit for hours every day. It's fun, but sometimes it just gets boring. Well, not boring, but it's kind of heavy. I feel like after I've sat here and talked about it for like 5 hours, then somebody in my life brings up anything to me about the news, I'm like, nah, I'm done. I'm done talked about it. Plus this, oh my God, Crystal, I know. I will play Sharks and Minnows. I might play it tonight. You know what? I might actually play it tonight. This is a good night for it. Nice little horror game for y'all. That might work. Wait, what? I'm in space. Games? Oh. So I might play anything. Recommend it. But Apex I like. I've recently started playing, what's that game called? I play StarCraft. I've tried out, I'm just trying to think of what I've recently been playing. Let me open my Steam up. I just tried this game. Let me see. Oh, Mecha Break. I've been playing, I played a lot of Mecha Break. I actually really like Mecha Break. I was getting like addicted to that. I don't really play Marvel Rivals too much now. Rust occasionally. Albion Online, I might play with Kami. I have Helldivers too. Fragpunk I recently tried out. That just came out. But I'll do all sorts of games though. Crystal recommended a horror game or something the other day, or like a few weeks ago. That was a funny play. We had a lot of fun with that one. In fact, you know what? Actually, here. What was that game called? Devil's Way. Devil's Way. Okay. Hold up, guys. This is actually, you guys might enjoy this. For the uninitiated. Helldivers is lit. Oh, weird. You can't click the link or... Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm just going to count on me. Yeah, this was Crystal's recommendation. Wait, Ark or the Ascetic? I'm trying to think of that is. Devil's Way. Devil's got some gains. He's getting gains. All right. Yo, this game is unhinged. It's hard to even call this a game, to be honest with you guys. Let me just see. It's really quick. This will take us 5 minutes, and you'll understand where I'm coming from if you have not experienced this before. Oh, lordy. How do I... Bear with me, bear with me. Oh my gosh. I was not prepared. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, that's not right. Ooh. I do not understand. Oh, that's why. What the hell? I'm so confused. Why is this not working? I swear I played this the other day on here. I can always say the other day, but you know what I mean. I don't understand why it's not working. That is so frustrating. Oh, there we go. Ha ha ha. Oh, all right. Ah, yes, we got it. We got it. All right. A brief game for you guys, real briefly, to break up the monotony. So this was recommended by one of the viewers. Well, you guys will see. Hello, Daniel. Who are you? You've come here for a test. You're the only survivor of the terrible World War III. So we will test your limits. Let me pull up chat, hold up. Because y'all are gonna probably shit yourself if you haven't played this. Fuck. All right. CS2. Oh, Counter-Strike? I haven't played that. All right. So basically, here's the game. So, what do we do, guys? It's telling us to go right. Do we go right or do we go left? I can never get comfortable, man. I'll be sitting like L from Death Note. Hi, JT. Mm, mm. Bam. Oh, shit. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, you know, it's funny you say that. I was kind of thinking about that the other day. I was like, when was the last time North Korea had one of their nuclear tests and said, oh, with saber rattling, we're going to hit the U.S. or we could hit the U.S. Feels like it's been a while. All right, all right. Oh, yes, quite. Beautiful. Yes. Go toward the light. You have unlaundered money. How do you launder this money without getting caught? Go to Turkey or set up a shell company. I think I would set up a shell company. I think, right? I'm not really sure what going to Turkey does. Mm. What is the name of the god who feeds on the souls of girl child, lies, and does evil? Trump or Bagul? I don't know. What the? What the hell? I have never. Oh my god, this has never actually happened. Does the game change the more you play it? No. Okay. Will it do it again? No, I won't let me go in there. All right, let's go to Trump. All right, fine. All right. So far, so good. There's two chairs. One has a dildo on it, and the other has a cake. You have to sit in one and eat what's in the other. What do you do? Yo, we got breaking news from John Edward on the scene, on the ground. John, what do you got? Putin agrees to withdraw from Ukraine if Trump releases the Epstein files. More at 8. I guess let's sit on the cake. We're going to sit on the cake. these motherfucking things. I don't even know. I knew it. I knew it too. Like, I don't even know. Oh, this is so dumb. It's just gonna make us do it, so we gotta do it. Okay, so far so good. What scares you more? Hearing a constant whisper throughout your life, or someone harassing you? Eat that dilly. The fuck out of here. It's a trick question, right? Someone harassing me? Wait, what scares you more? You know, fuck it. Fuck it. Someone harassing me. Which one do you fear more, snakes or spiders? Well, it's a trick question. So spiders. Matoto or die? Makoko. I guess Makoko, right? Okay, let's try that again. So obviously not going to Makoko. Okay. Democrat or Republican? All right, let's see what the Democrats got. Okay. Let's see what the Republicans got. We're gonna do 9/11. Taken out of context, that could sound bad, but you know, in context of the game we're playing. I'm not really sure. I had the coin flip on this one. All right. All right, I'm going with this one. Congratulations. You have successfully completed all our tests. You can move on with your life. So like I said, that's an odd game. So thank you, Chatter, who suggested that piece of art. I don't know how it still gets me on some of those things. I wonder if it's like one of those games, like the more you play it, it keeps changing things. We played it through 2 times the last time. But I never had where you fall on the floor. I don't think I had that the first time I played it. Ooh. Oh, what's going on, Sage? Sage Toth. Toth, are you Hungarian? Or like Polish? Anyway, beside the point. Bingo! I had somebody in my family with that last name. Yeah. Thought so. We might be cousins. We might be distantly related. Yes, I'm many things. I'm black and I'm white. I'm Polish, I'm Czech, I'm German. Apparently, it's what I was told when I was a kid. Oh, it's the most common last name in Hungary. Ah, the more you know. The more you know. Well, I'm sorry you're coming at the tail end of this. However, I think I've been live for... I need a break. What time is it? Really, I just gotta take a piss. But I should probably take a break as well. I'll be back. What time is it? I've only been on here like 3 hours. 4 hours. Trump get fat again? He needs to share some with me, man. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm pretty skinny. I'm going to freshen up all that good stuff, and I'll be back here probably in a couple hours or so. I appreciate y'all for hanging out. Hit the like, hit the sub. We'll probably be doing more politics later, maybe some gaming, listening to music, really just hanging out and stuff. We'll see what we get into. There's some of the European news I want to get into. There's a couple things. I want to check out. So, but thank you so much for hanging out. Check out my Discord if you want to continue hanging out with everybody in chat while I'm offline, or reach out. Also, I'm on socials. Bam. Yeah, we'll probably end up doing like a recap of this and like get all the other talking heads and shit and see what people are saying on this issue, because they had a meeting, they came out and said like 2 words on it, so there really wasn't much here. We got more information from the press secretary, so, which makes sense. I mean, they're negotiating, so I mean, what can you do? But but okie doke, I'll be back in a bit. I'm gonna finish my food, freshen up. Oh, and all of that goodness. So, thank you for hanging out at the Black Hole Radio. Yes, sir. Beat me up, Scotty. We're out. I'll be back in a bit.